Okay, yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome again back to the NosCast. Everyone, it's Leroy Green. You should know by now. If you don't know, well, now you know. And of course, joining us this week, again, we got my man Jay Holland.
What's good? What's up?
Back again also, we got my boy Murdoch.
Yo, yo, yo.
Joining us for the first time, my man, one and only Niz Centine.
What up? It's Niz Centine, a.k.a. the Nizza, a.k.a. Big Bobby, a.k.a. the last girl bender, a.k.a. I never held an AK in my life.
So that's how you do an intro right there. And then last but not least, we got my main man Greg.
I don't give a damn slam, Peter, but I'm ready to jam. What's good?
There we go. What's up, man? What's up? How's everybody been? How's everybody this week?
Whatever
that means.
Yeah, I did.
I'm great. I've been drinking for like
2 weeks
3
straight.
weeks straight. Because since my birthday, I haven't stopped.
Birthday and album release.
Oh, and album release, exactly.
True.
The drinks just kept coming.
Yeah, man.
So every day's been a celebration. Even being here today, it's a celebration. It's a great time.
What's the name of the album?
Nothing special.
And where can we find it?
Everywhere except Apple for some reason. But by the time this airs, hopefully it'll be on Apple. But for the most part, it's everywhere: Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Amazon, Napster for some reason, and LimeWire.
Kazaa.
Nah, Napster and LimeWire always get thrown
Demonoid.
up. Like for some reason, they get your music somehow, one way or another.
Same way they used to get the porn.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's good though. It's good, you know. Shouts out, congratulations on the album,
Appreciate
man.
you.
I listened to it. I loved it, man.
Yeah,
Definitely
got
one of them.
a track produced from Leroy on there. Is
You
very
know, it's a little song, you know.
Very
But definitely check that out. Y'all watching, y'all listening. How's everybody else's weekends been? What y'all get up to? What's been happening in y'all?
I was with y'all this weekend. We were shooting Brown Sober Ramen, so
Did.
just look out for that coming this fall.
yeah. If you want to go ahead, give them a rundown of what the content coming to the channel is. Like, what's Rhymes
I
Over
don't want
Ramen?
to give away too much, but it's basically like a show. We talk about music and we discuss it over ramen noodles, and it's like one of the mukbang videos. It's gonna be like a pretty interesting thing. I think there's a big audience for it, so like I'm sure you guys watching this channel is gonna enjoy it. So look out for that.
dope.
Big things on Camp Nos coming.
Yeah,
also,
man.
by the time this episode airs, we're going to have something else up on Camp Nos
Yes.
from Mr. Gregory Hall.
Yes. So this week we released the teaser trailer to Karen.
Oh,
Yeah. So the teaser trailer's out. So go to the YouTube channel and check it out, please. You will not be disappointed. And the full official trailer will be released this week, October 8th, I believe. So be on the look. October 8th, 7 p.m. The full trailer of Karen will be released. I'm very excited. You guys are gonna love it. Already we're getting great response from it, and I'm excited and a little nervous about it, but mostly excited. And we also have another sketch that I wrote and filmed that we also have. Leroy Green is in there, and homeboy, he's behind production today. Our homeboy John Starks is in there, so that's gonna be really fun.
shout out Starks, man.
So we're gonna, it's gonna be coming out real soon.
These are all good sketches for spooky month because these are all horror comedy based sketches.
Yeah, I feel like
you're doing.
that's like been my brand. I feel like I just been kind of leaning into the horror and comedy, trying as a writer and filmmaker, trying to find my way. I've been leaning into the two genres that I love the most, which is comedy and horror.
I think it's the perfect time too, because black horror is the biggest thing
Popping right now.
Well,
Jordan Peele put us back on.
Well, you know what the thing is? It was funny. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about it, and I felt like with all the black horror that's coming out, it's like we've created a new genre in horror.
Say that.
You know what I mean? We've created a new genre in horror, and like seeing for what Jordan Peele did, because like if you know horror, and Leroy, because you're a big horror fan, horror goes like in ebb and flow. Like you'll have a period horror where everything is trash, and then a movie will come out that will like kind of like revolutionize the genre, and then it hits big again. It happened with Scream, it happened with Saw, and I think it definitely happened when Get Out came out with Jordan Peele.
Yeah, definitely.
And now you have Get Out. You had what's the other?
Us.
Antebellum.
Antebellum. You got Candyman coming back out.
Spell.
Spell.
They pushed it back.
They also have there's another one called, I think it's called Bad Hair.
Bad
something.
Hair.
Bad
yeah.
Hair is coming
Hey,
on
on
Hulu.
Yeah, that shit was frightening as a motherfucker.
And even Saw.
I was about to say with Chris
Yeah.
Rock doing
Spiral
now.
and Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
And
That
I'm
shit
loo-
is dope.
And I'm looking as a person who comes from comedy, as a comedian, and a person who's been watching horror films since he was 3. I was like, yo, as an artist, I want in on this. Like, I want to be a part of this. So now I'm also
Our time, it's in horror is coming. I think it's always kind of been there, but if you look back and think, like, a lot of black horror movies, like, they weren't taken really seriously, and they weren't even made on like a good budget, like at all. Like I'm trying to think about
Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
exactly. That's another thing.
And that's the thing.
Anytime
He went
they really had us involved like heavily in horror movies, it was always just going to the hood. Like they had Leprechaun
Halloween,
in the hood, Leprechaun
Resurrection.
going back to the hood. Yeah, Busta Rhymes.
Wait,
in,
time
in
out. Some of those were
Halloween.
good. Tales from the Hood was scary as shit.
No,
We're
Tales
gonna talk about
yeah,
that.
we get into that.
No, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna
And
get into
then
that.
you had Blackula. Blackula was fucking scary too.
Blackula was actually, if you watch
good.
Blackula, it's a good horror film.
It's
Yeah.
a great horror film.
I mean, I still like the Vampire in Brooklyn. I still think that's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Yeah, that's a
That was
my
actually
girl was
today.
just talking about the other day. She was like, they need to make a sequel. I'm like, nobody
Nah.
is waiting for the sequel.
No one.
Like,
Oh no,
Well,
you
they
be
got
surprised,
the
brother.
Vampires versus the Bronx that just came out.
trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Was it
I
trash?
know, I
Trash.
Oh, I didn't see
Make
it.
this,
I didn't see
make
it.
this the trash segment. That movie is garbage. Don't even
Yeah.
watch it. Very.
Okay, you know what? I
Concept
haven't seen it, so I'm gonna reserve judgment. But I will say, if you're looking for a good, mostly black cast horror film or sci-fi film, check out 2011's Attack the Block.
Yes.
That's the one with John
Great movie.
Boyega.
Yeah,
Oh,
John
right,
Boyega was like one of his
yeah.
first films. He played a guy named Moses. Please watch Attack the
Great
Block.
film.
That's a
Great
good
film.
movie.
That's a great film.
I know. I still haven't watched it. I'm slacking.
No,
I've
you
always
definitely
heard the
That's
same
just
thing.
it's
from
just a
everyone. I've been
fun
slacking.
movie.
And
It's just fun.
And I'm gonna put you guys on to some games, so because you mentioned Blackula.
Yeah.
There's 2 blaxploitation horror films that are really good.
Yeah.
And I have one of them on DVD, believe it or not. One is called JD's Revenge.
Yes, I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
JD's Revenge is about this.
Heard about it in a rap.
It's about-
I didn't really.
With
I
the
didn't-
old dude with the
yeah. Well, the
It's
race
a-
will become
it's a-
JD's Revenge. I didn't know the reference though.
'Cause my dad, he's like a child of the '70s, so I grew up watching these blaxploitation films with him.
Yeah.
And watching these films with him, and I watched JD's Revenge, and it's about this guy. He was played I forget the actor's name, but he played the colonel in Different World. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He plays the main character, and he's like a young college student. He's working as a cab driver in New Orleans to get by. They go to this. Long story short, him and his girlfriend, they go to this hypnotist. He gets hypnotized, but something happens, and then the soul of this old 1940s gangster crossover named JD and possesses him so he could finish what who killed him essentially. And it's a really good film. The content in there doesn't age very well. Like there's certain things in there. It's like, okay, I understand you were possessed, bro, but you still got to answer for that. And then the other one is called Abby. And Abby was the black exorcist. And Abby was really, really good. And also kind of gross. Like, I remember watching it, I was eating a bowl of cereal, and there's a scene where she's like spitting
What kind
up.
of cereal was it?
I think it was...
Fruity Pebbles.
No, it wasn't Fruity Pebbles. I was a kid that liked old people cereal, so I probably was like Honey Bunches of Oats.
It was
or
Fiber
something.
One. Fiber One.
It was like honey.
Yeah.
It was a Honey Bunches of Oats. My colon was clean as a child. But it was like a scene where she was throwing up this milky white substance, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. Nope, I'm done.
Cereal's done forever now.
Candyman's
a classic though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only the first one. Only the first one though. Only the first one.
Oh, but the other two was Farewell to the Flesh.
And Day of the Dead. Like those were the 2 that went like straight to video and shit back when like VCRs were a thing. The second one, the only good thing about the second is that they explained his origin and they showed him getting like chased by all the white people and killed by the bees and shit and his hand chopped off. Other than that, it was stupid. And then part 3, he was in New Orleans for some reason, haunting the lady's daughter and shit.
Well, no, that was part 2, I think.
No, that was part 3.
Well, part 2, he was in New Orleans
No,
too.
yeah, but no. I'm sorry. Part
Yeah.
2, he was in New
Don't
Orleans.
know. I only
Part
seen the
3,
first movie.
he was in L.A. Part 3, he was in L.A. or whatever.
Yeah.
He was haunting a new lady in the second one, and in the third one he was haunting that lady's daughter.
Okay.
Or whatever. But Candyman is one of those black horror movies that doesn't feel like a black horror movie. Almost like when Denzel Washington is in a film. You don't call it a black movie. It's just a movie when Denzel's in it. But when you have certain actors, it's like, oh, okay, this is a black movie. Like if you see Tyler Perry and some shit, it's like, okay, it's a black movie. But when you see Denzel, you don't put Denzel in that box. And the same with Chadwick.
I think to make a black movie, it's gotta have those certain characteristics. Like religion has to be heavily involved in it. I've noticed like almost every black movie
has religion.
Yeah, like religion is a big thing. Like you know.
There's got to be like gangsters who think they're tougher than the killer.
Yeah.
Especially, R.I.P. to my man that shot the Fade with Jason Voorhees. And,
I was gonna say, we probably jumping ahead, but I know we definitely gonna get into all that once we start going into the movies and everything.
Can we talk about those people who ran the Fade with the monsters?
Yeah. We gonna get into all that.
I got my list.
So we just gonna not look before we get even off topic. Like, let's just get into whatever this stuff that happened between the week up until today. But so in video game news, we got some Smash Bros news. So I know y'all are hyped. I know y'all are hyped. I know the inner 12-year-old is hyped because your man Steve from Minecraft is being released as the next DLC character. So I know y'all are eager for that. I can see it in the room.
I mean, for like a younger generation of gamers, like that's a big thing for them because
Minecraft is an entity. It's I understand why Nintendo is doing this. Like, of course, the youngest one in the room is
you are showing your age right now.
Yeah. The extra DLC is a box.
He can't even contain himself. He can't contain. He going in blushing and shit.
It's a box.
Steve, man.
It's a box with a face on it. All right, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm
a guest. I'm sorry.
No. You think? I mean, you're right. He is a box. Like he's just angles, and he's gotta have his axe.
Of course, the axe. You know the axe is a weapon.
I'm trying to think. Like because I'm not heavy into Minecraft like that, so I don't know.
I think
what
it's
Roblox.
If they have like a Minecraft map on Smash, I think that'll be dope.
That'd be fun.
All the characters
they usually get their own stage. Yeah. I mean, I think there was some other announcements, but I didn't really check them though because the biggest one was Steve because again, Minecraft is Minecraft is a god to these kids.
You excited for Minecraft?
Oh damn, man! What's the monsters called in there?
Zombies.
Okay, so
somebody get this man a mic.
How many characters are in Smash now?
A lot,
like 60 something.
Yeah.
OD.
I think they might be above
80.
Yeah, I was gonna say
88.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're above MVC2's roster.
They getting there.
That's what I'm saying. They on their way.
And there's 4 more coming out too. So
they say no. We still gonna. But hey. But I think the good thing is it's like
it's OD.
Yeah,
they're putting in so many characters.
Too many fucking characters.
It's OD, but it's like
that's what it's about. That's
what
Smash is about.
Like Smash is about fitting in everyone from every different like universe, and that's the thing I admire. They're taking a piece of every there's somebody for everybody in that roster. Like you could go to your childhood and there's a character in there, whether it's Pikachu, whether it's Sonic, whether it's Mega Man, whether it's
Steve,
exactly,
Ken, Ryu.
It's the ultimate battle royale.
Exactly, and that's how they go about the roster, putting in something for everybody, and that's what I like. Something for the 90s fighting game fans with the Street Fighter characters. If you were a 2D side-scrolling Mega Man fan, you got him. If you was a Sonic Sega Genesis player, like they got characters for everybody. So I've seen the backlash from it's usually older people. Like I don't think they understand. Like they're not looking at it from like how I'm like explaining it. Like, but you gotta realize that
they got
how
88 other characters. It's
fine. Like you got your childhood is in there somewhere. If your childhood is not within these 80 something characters,
your child sucks.
It was trash. It started trash. Like what else they'll put a Ninja Turtle in there, I'm sure at some point, or Darth Vader. Like what the hell more are you asking for? Like
Nintendo does not want you to put that controller down. Son.
Nah.
They don't want you to put the
Listen,
game down.
listen, I'm waiting for the Muppets to appear on there.
I'm telling you, like, on the way they're going, like, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised.
I told myself as soon as they released Banjo-Kazooie, I was like, I'm done asking for people. That's all I wanted.
like
I
I
wanted
said,
Banjo-Kazooie since the third
like I
one,
said.
and they finally did it, and I was like, I can't complain no more.
Like,
That's the one I
If
wanted.
you go around this room right now, there's got to be somebody in there that's one of your favorite characters from something in there. Steve,
Yeah.
Steve gang over there. So you know,
Steve's your favorite character from Ghost? Boo? Okay.
okay.
You can't even play as Boo though, right?
Can you? They got so
I don't
many
think
characters.
so.
I lost track of Boo from. Is he in Smash Bros?
No, I
was
think
about
he's
to
a
say.
trophy.
You're saying in general. We're saying so say like looking at the roster in Super Smash Brothers, there's at least one character in there that's from everyone's like childhood or something, whatever their favorite cartoon, game, whatever. See, there you go.
Yep.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Sonic.
You know,
Sonic announcement broke shit when
Ken.
that happened in Brawl.
Ken for me.
I was gonna say for me is either if it wasn't the Street Fighter characters, I got Solid Snake from Metal Gear.
Damn, he's
So
in
you
that
know what I
too,
mean?
damn.
Exactly.
Forgot he was in
You know what I mean? Like
Little Mac.
there you go, Lil
Punch-Out.
Mac from
Lil
Super
Mac.
Punch Out. Yep.
Lil
Little
Mac.
Mac.
Told you, look at that. Nintendo looking out for y'all. Nintendo looking out, and that's how fighting game rosters need to be. I don't think people realize how important a roster is in a fighting game. So when the roster lacks, the community is gonna not accept that, and that's the shit that happened with the last Marvel vs. Capcom game that came out, which is sad because Marvel vs. Capcom is kind of like the game that jumped off having crazy all-around rosters. You know, Capcom was known for that. We're doing all their crossover series with X-Men vs. Street Fighters and the Marvel vs. Capcoms, and you know. So it's like for them to like double down on it and I think they were taking direction from Marvel Studios because I think they wanted to go with the route that they only wanted to focus on cinematic characters.
Yeah.
So we pretty much only had all the core Avengers, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. Like we really, if you were, you know, in the cinematic universe, those are the only characters on the roster. Not only did the game just look ugly, but the roster was super limited, and it's just like it turned people off, and it was crazy not seeing one of the biggest games at EVO, not at EVO, the year that game dropped out.
Imagine
you know.
being a fan of Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 and looking forward to Part 3 and getting Part 3. And then getting Ultimate Part 3. And then you see all the trailers, the little like teasers for 4. You're like, okay. And this has happened to me many times. Where
three. I think you mean Infinite. Three was
no. There was 3.
Three.
Then
I
there
liked.
was Ultimate.
Even though 3 could have still had
That-
a bigger roster to it, but
They added- that's what
Infinite
Ultimate
was the
was.
one that like killed it because people still played 3, and 3 was still popping at EVO every year. It was when they did Infinite where they was like, we're only gonna focus on the cinematic Marvel characters. So that means no X-Men, and the X-Men are what made the Marvel games in the first place.
It all
X-Men.
It all started with Children of Adam.
Yeah,
It all started
like
with X-Men.
they
Children of
I
Adam.
made
enjoyed
those
the game.
Marvel
Great games.
Yeah.
No,
It's a great game.
that's what I'm saying. They are great games, and that's the thing because X-Men characters are fun in every capacity. Like especially the fighting games. Like even if you go to MVC2, the best characters, all the top tier characters are all
X-Men.
Marvel. Sentinel, Storm, Psylocke,
Wolverine,
Magneto,
Iceman,
like all the top
Colossus,
tier characters were
Gambit,
the Marvel characters. So if you
Marrow.
take that competitive aspect out,
Well, X-Men.
who the hell is gonna want to play it?
Yo,
you know what I mean?
MVC2 definitely consisted of mostly X-Men. Quick story. So, like I said, this happened to me a bunch of times where a game or a movie will fuck up, and I always think to myself when the sequel comes, it's like, okay, they learned their lesson from the last game. Wrong. This shit happened to me with Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. I saw the first one. Ghost Rider is along those tier of movies where it's like Daredevil. Like, you won't watch it voluntarily, but if it comes on FX, you'll be like, all right.
Whatever.
But
I got nothing else to do.
when
it's like good background noise.
Spirit
Yeah.
of Vengeance, I saw it in theaters,
I saw it
and it
in
was
theaters,
so
too.
bad.
It
It
was
was so bad.
And that was done by the guys who did the Crank movies too.
It
And those
was
movies
so
were
bad.
awesome.
Oh
and I
my
was so
God.
hyped
I
for
saw the
Spirit
pain.
of
I saw the
Vengeance.
pain in Jay's eyes when he said he saw the movies too. Like his eyes started watering.
No,
up a
one of
little
my
bit.
one of my friends, like we went after work and he was like, "Yo, we gotta go see Ghost Rider." I'm like, "All right, like
That's a terrible friend.
yeah, like all right, whatever." Like
Ghost Rider 1
He didn't
wasn't
know
that
what he was
bad.
getting
yeah,
himself
you
into.
didn't know. You seen the
know.
first one? Is like you said, you'll watch it. if
You'll
you-
watch it if it come on FX.
So I
whatever.
went. I'm like, bro, this is like the worst movie I've seen in years, and I fell asleep during the movie.
And you and your friendship has never recovered since then.
Dog, I was on.
Not till you pay you that $11 back.
Yeah, I need my money back.
I was on a date when I went to go see that shit. I apologized to Shorty. Like, look, I'm so sorry.
Is that the last date?
Is that the last day? Yes. They get laid off.
You took me to see that shitty ass movie.
That's what something like a quick question. Like, what's the worst movie you ever seen on a date
Ooh, I got
that
one.
you brought a date to? Like, you may have not known it was going to be a bad movie, but you went on a date and the movie happened to be one of the worst things ever.
I got one.
It's a trick question.
I got you.
I got one. I hate to say it. Dude, where's my car? Dude, where's my car?
Yeah, that's the stupidest shit on TV.
Yeah.
It's one
I'm
of
not
those
even gonna
movies
say
that's-
mine.
that shit is funny like when you're young. When you're young, that shit is funny. Then as you get older, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since I was like 12. and
Exactly.
I should probably keep
I
it that way.
didn't think it was funny when I was a kid either.
It's one of those movies that you can only watch once, like Napoleon Dynamite. It's only funny one time.
I like Napoleon. I could
can't
rewatch.
I
But
can't.
I can't.
Dude, where's my car? I'm out. So what was the movie?
I don't even want to say it. It was
Say it. Say it.
Got it.
it was Tooth Fairy.
Oh, the
movie
one,
with
The Rock?
Rock.
Damn.
I thought you was gonna say Pootie Tang.
I would have loved to take a date to see Pootie Tang.
Thanks, great.
She would have. You take a date to Pootie Tang, you would be married to that same girl right now.
If she didn't like it, then you call that it's
Exactly.
over.
Then I don't want you in my life, like at
That's
all.
the
If you
one.
didn't
I'm
enjoy it,
proposing right
like,
there.
yeah.
That movie's hilarious.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
Pootie Tang is hilarious because it's a stoner film. Like literally, it's a
If
stoner
you
film.
said
Nah,
something
I
like
laughed at it sober.
if you said like some bullshit like Adam saying like you don't mess with the Zohan, then yeah, like she like that I would believe you.
Oh, what was that game that movie he did that was like based off old video games? What was that?
Pixels.
Pixels.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
saw that.
That
Did you
bullshit.
see it on a date?
No. I didn't see. I saw that on like Netflix or some shit or whatever.
At least he was home for it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
on demand at one
He
point.
ain't spending gas money or nothing like that.
I don't know the answer to that question though. I can't think of. I think the Ghost Rider might have been. Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance might be my answer.
You got one, Murdoch?
I had a girl take me to see Twilight. I knew it was gonna be bad, but like it was her choice.
But it
you
doesn't
know,
count.
like-
it don't count if you knew it was gonna be.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But and I don't really go on movie dates
See,
a lot like
because
that.
that's damn. Because the one I was gonna pick, I knew it was gonna be bad, and that's why I took her to see it.
Oh, you said this.
Wait,
Yeah.
you knew it was gonna be bad?
Yeah.
You purposely did
I
that?
took it.
Yeah, we've
okay.
all done that.
Because
What
I
was
think
the
we
end
talked.
game in
I think we talked about it last time.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, 'cause so
Yeah, we did.
I was forced to go see 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
So, and I hated that fucking movie. I still think it's terrible. And then, so Marlon Wayans
No, 50
made the parody 50 Shades of Black
I took somebody to see
like
that
a
too.
year and a half later. And I knew it was going to be bad because as much as I love Marlon Wayans, he does not make good movies
On his own.
especially parody movies.
He needs
like,
Sean. He
you
needs
know,
his brother.
Now,
he
Haunted
really-
House is kind of funny.
Haunted House 1, I think, is
It
decent.
was
It,
funny.
it has its moments.
Man,
that's the
Dingo
thing.
Party was hilarious.
See, that's the thing. There's a lot of good moments in there, but it's overridden by like a lot of the stupid stuff. Some of the very stupid stuff, like that scene where he's like humping the Annabelle doll, that went on way too damn long. And I'm just like, yo, can you? It's not. It wasn't funny 30 seconds ago. It's been 2 minutes. Please stop. Like
Nothing
man.
could be worse than Meet the Blacks.
oh,
I didn't see that. I don't
shit.
know.
Yeah,
That
so,
one.
but that was me. That was the worst.
see it.
Other than that, I can't think of. No. Well, I didn't take her to see it, but I was taken to it. This chick took me to see one of the Step Up movies. I forget which
They
one
still
it
make
was.
those?
No, not anymore. Like,
I think they make them online
They don't. No, they
now.
don't. No, they don't.
Yeah, the last one I saw was like Step Up Revolution in theaters.
wasn't that the one they was like going all around the world?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one they like dancing in water and shit? It was splashing over the place.
Nah,
In
that was
3D?
like the second one.
No, that was the second one. The second one was fire.
Second one was. Good.
I only saw the first one. I've never seen any others.
I've
Only the
seen
first
one, and I said, "This is the stupidest shit on TV." I'm gonna say that about everything I don't like. It's the stupidest shit on TV. It wasn't even on TV. We were in theaters and see it.
We need a Leroy list of the stupidest
stupidest
things
shit on
I
TV.
saw that Fantastic Four remake, but I knew it was gonna be bad, so I wasn't that mad. But I wanted to see how bad it was gonna be.
Why are you shaking your head? Start. What are you shaking your head? Did you like that film?
I agree.
Oh, okay. I'm about to
gonna
say.
like these guys like, wait a minute, hold on, I enjoyed it. You know, Michael B.
It's
Jordan's performance was.
I was about to say, you know what? No, come over here. You need to explain yourself.
You guys didn't like
Come to
Miles
the
Teller
congregation
as
on that
Mr.
one.
Fantastic? Like what? Like,
You didn't enjoy Dr. Doom being a hacker and shit?
I didn't even bother seeing the movie. everything you tell me about it, I will not know. I won't even get
It's kind of an interesting thing to watch because it's one of those movies that you know was like meddled by the studio.
Yeah.
And you can tell like the movie is fine up to a point where all of a sudden it stops and it goes 1 year later. And then after that, it's just dog shit.
Agreed.
And it's like,
Agreed.
what happened? Like this was an okay setup.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they did a year
Studio
time
kicked
skip.
in.
And you can tell that's when Fox was
literally
like,
kicked open the doors and
got
said,
it from
change
here.
all this shit. Here's your new scripts, here's new settings. Here
Matter
you
of fact,
go.
we don't even have a script. We just writing this shit right now as we go.
Because you can watch the trailers and there's so much stuff in the trailers that's not in the movies, and then you hear the stories of what happened
I
with the
heard.
director and shit.
Dr. Doom was a girl in this one? Huh?
No,
No,
he's a dude.
no, he's like a
He's a dude.
hacker. He's like
Oh,
a
he's a
hacker.
dude. Someone told me, or maybe they was lying,
They was
or maybe they
definitely
were so
lying.
blazed out of their mind that they made a better version of the movie.
Wait, I'm sorry. I just remembered I went to see Ninja Turtles Into the Shadows.
That was the animated one?
That was the
Oh, no, the
second,
second movie.
And again,
live action CGI.
Again, it's like I said, I thought they would learn their lesson with the first one. I was like, okay, we got Casey Jones, you got Arrow as Casey Jones, you got Shredder, you got Bebop, Rocksteady,
Tyler
the
Perry.
Foot Clan.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman. Baxter
Actually
Stockman, I
fit.
thought was interesting. Then I'm like, okay, the Foot Clan are actual ninjas now. They're not a fucking army like the bullshit first one. This has got to be good. Wrong again. Wrong again. He fucking Stephen Amell wore his mask for one scene. The mask was
course.
like bigger than his face.
He didn't even feel like Casey Jones. He
Exactly.
didn't even have the essence.
As
of
opposed to the Shredder who had his mask off the whole fucking
Yeah.
movie. Except like the end, and he wasn't even like the main villain. They did good visually on Krang.
Right.
And like the whole Dimension X shit and the Terror Dome and all that shit. But and then Bebop and Rocksteady, they looked good too. But
One of them was played by Seamus, right?
He
Yeah,
played,
Seamus, yeah.
he played,
He was,
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. But I think that was the thing, like with those.
It's
with-
because his hair is like a mohawk. Is
Yeah.
the only reason why.
because the first one
Could've got
and the
anybody
second
there.
one they were trying
could've done
to cater to like that generation that grew up on the cartoons, that all things we wanted to see, which was fine. But to go to your point with the Shredder, that was interesting because in the first one you didn't see him at all.
At all.
But there was a reason for that because originally Shredder was the white dude, and there was
Yeah.
backlash, and then like the last
Yeah,
minute
yeah, they changed it.
They changed. They did a bunch of reshoots.
Thank God.
They did a bunch of reshoots because I think the ending where they're fighting the Shredder in the suit, that was supposed to be him in there.
yeah,
They
but they
stay
changed
trying to
it.
make samurais white. Like,
Yeah.
they do that with Tom Cruise like
Yeah,
way
Tom-
long
Hey,
ago.
Keanu Reeves with 47 Ronin.
Yeah, like-
Tom Cruise.
Oh, when there's another one,
Matt Damon,
Yeah,
the Great Wall of
yeah.
China.
It's just like there were no Caucasians in feudal Japan. There were black people there, okay? There's recorded as a black samurai. I think Chadwick Boseman was supposed to play him before he passed. It was about the first black samurai. They had black people in feudal Japan. White people? Nah, that was still in Europe battling the bubonic plague. Being nasty.
Oh man, what's going on else in movie news? I didn't watch it because honestly I didn't really care for the first movie at all. But I know the Borat 2 trailer dropped.
I didn't see it.
So I don't know if Borat's
see the
y'all
trailer.
guy.
I see when he mentioned Napoleon Dynamite, something that you watched one time and you enjoyed it that one time.
is that how you feel about Borat?
Yeah, like the first time I saw Borat, I thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Second time I saw it, it was like, why am I watching this? Like, the jokes don't really have replay value. So hopefully Borat 2 is funnier and has replay value.
Borat 2 seems like they're taking a real political tone with it. I mean, the first one is political just like in its
Yeah.
concept, but this one seems like it's very
I guess
much
at the height of everything going
planned
on.
to drop right before the election
Yeah.
to make fun of Trump and Pence, because the whole plot is Borat trying to deliver his daughter to marry Mike Pence. Like that's the
All right, that sounds funny.
Yeah.
That sounds funny. So,
In theory.
like, in theory, like, this already sounds more interesting than the first movie. I guess maybe because I didn't really understand it that well, but none of the jokes really stuck out to me. Like, Sacha Baron Cohen, I think, is, like, I've known who he was beforehand, like, because who was,
Ali
like,
G.
Ali
Ali
G,
G.
you know. So, you know, I guess I knew his style, but it's just nothing about Borat grasped me. I think there's other people like him, but I just like the way they go about it. Like, Eric Andre. Like I just prefer,
Eric Andre is definitely like was brought up through Sacha Baron
He
Cohen.
definitely was.
Like,
Him and Tom Green.
Yeah.
Like
I
like-
wasn't crazy about his stand up though.
who, Eric Andre?
I heard the same thing. That's why I haven't watched it yet. But I love Bad Trip. Like if you haven't seen his movie Bad Trip, it is hilarious. Like watch Bad Trip. Bad Trip it's the same. It's in the same format, basically almost like the Eric Andre show. Like he is pulling like a bunch of street pranks on people, but it's in the vein that it's in a movie going on at the same time.
Kind of like Bad Grandpa.
Yeah. So it's a movie, but he's still pulling like pranks on everyone. But it was hilarious. Like I said, it was the best movie I seen last year.
Yeah, that style works
opinion.
in sketch comedy
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But Eric Andre for stand up, it was too much. Like,
Yeah,
he was
he's very extra.
He was
like
trying to force his comedy on you, like Kevin Hart.
I heard the same thing, but hey, Borat, like it sounds more interesting than the first movie, so I'll give this a chance. Maybe I'll even rewatch the first movie. I only really seen bits and pieces. I never
Pass.
Of the first one?
Yeah, so I mean I'll give it a shot though.
It's
I'll
gonna
give it
be
a
on
shot, though.
Amazon, so I'll
You know,
probably
party.
just
There we go.
Yeah.
Watch.
the
Y'all let me
Borat
know how that
Borat 2 watch party. There we go.
Y'all let me know how that is. Murdoch, I saw New Mutants.
Oh, what'd you think?
I thought it was alright.
It was alright, yeah.
Like I would watch it again.
Like it's getting unnecessary hate, and I understand why. I don't think it was terrible. I think it could have been a lot better, but I enjoyed watching.
Did you watch it in theaters or on
In
demand?
theaters. Like 2 weeks ago.
I saw it in the drive-in.
Like 2-3 weeks ago.
I'll say, damn, it's still in theaters.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah,
else in
that's
theaters.
what I was
saying.
It's
Yeah.
just that and Tenet.
They playing those on. They playing those on
They
repeat.
gonna be running this
Yeah.
till December. Like shit.
December, probably longer.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing I was gonna go to. Like, even though we got a bunch of before we get into like the delays, like I mean, it's another trailer I did not watch. I'm sorry, but there's The Witches, and that's based off a Roald Dahl book.
Yes,
I never read this book, though.
Okay,
It's the old movie.
it's an old movie based on remember the Angelica Houston movie?
Oh,
That's what it's
this
based-
shit is- okay. So if I
yes,
actually watched the trailer, probably.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
It's the same
It's
shit.
the same shit, but this one looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
It looks really good. They got a little bit of a different take on it. The first one, it was a British film. It was
Yeah.
a British film. This one is I guess it's gonna be set in the States. It's Octavia Spencer's playing the grandmother. Chris Rock is doing the voice, the narration of the boy as he's older. And Hathaway's playing the lead of the witch. And just by the trailer of what I see, I mean, in my opinion, she's never gonna top what Angelica Houston did in the first one. But she's damn close, and she's damn close. Like like the overall feel to the film with the music, they really give you the tone of that's gonna be set in the 60s or 50s or something like that. I'm guessing 60s. So like the original one was present day. This one's taking back place in a period piece. But it does have a similar beats to the original. But to me, it looks really good. I'm really excited about it.
That premieres this month. It's coming out. It's coming out this month. HBO Max or.
Yes,
is it?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
HBO Max.
There we go. Yeah, baby girl Anne Hathaway. I'll watch it just for her. What else was? But yeah. Oh, the Resident Evil is getting rebooted.
Again.
Yeah. So
We got
it's
3
get-
Resident Evil properties
it's-
coming out.
Exactly. So it's not in line with what Netflix is doing with their CGI series and their live action series. But so this film series stands on its own. I think pretty much all of them are kind of standing on their own. So they announced like the full cast.
Yeah, the writer,
shit, they
director,
doing a
and the
movie?
entire
I thought
cast.
you said they was rebooting the games again.
Oh.
No, the games are still going because I think this probably all falls in line with the next game coming out, which is Resident Evil Village.
Oh, they're remaking the movie.
But the movies, they're rebooting.
And it seems like they're doing it says that the director said he's gonna focus on the first 2 games. So
Yeah.
I think he's going
Which
like
is
full
good. I want
video
them to
game.
go with the mansion, everything. Because they even have like, I'm trying to pull up the cast right here. The only one I can remember, because there's only one of the names that I recognize, was Avon Jogia as Leon Kennedy.
What is he from?
He was in Victorious.
Okay.
In Victorious, and probably some other stuff, but I know him from Victorious.
Was he any good?
He was cool.
I mean, it's Victorious. I don't know how much you can judge an actor from Victorious.
Ariana Grande did pretty good from that show, so hey,
She fanned out pretty well.
Because everyone is jumping on Jill and on Leon because they're not white. But
But they don't really need to be.
no, of course
Who's
not.
playing Who was? Because I didn't. I only
Avon
saw.
Jogia. He look. I don't know what he is, but you know he's not white. He's kind of. He's something.
He's
something.
He's human. That's
You're-
what he is.
He's a
He's
darker
human.
skin.
You know,
Tone.
he's got a fair skin, you know, ambiguous last name where I don't know what country of origin that really comes from. Doesn't really sound Spanish, but doesn't sound
European.
European. Like, where the hell? Somebody please look up where the hell this kid is from. You know,
But I think the movie is gonna drive hype towards the TV show, and the TV show
I
is
think,
definitely. gonna do
like
the
I
same
said, I
thing.
think all these are gonna fall in line within the same like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel,
probably.
You know, it's gonna just have Resident Evil just like be a trending thing for like the
Yeah.
majority of 2021 is we're just gonna be hearing about Resident Evil, which I'm excited for because I love the Resident Evil series. But the one out of all the announcements, the movie is what I'm most excited.
The only one that I
about.
recognized from the cast was the guy playing Wesker is Luther from Umbrella Academy. I don't know if anybody watches.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I know he
He's
looked
playing-
Yeah,
familiar.
yeah,
He's
he
playing
is.
what?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Kaya.
Interesting choice.
I don't know how to play her name. Say her last name. Kaya Scodelario.
Chaos Control.
Scooter.
Simi Slappy.
Samsonite.
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 I was way off.
But yeah, she's Claire Redfield. Hannah John Kamen, who's been in Ant-Man the Wasp. I can't remember. Kamen. It's Kamen. So it looks like ramen. So.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
I thought you
Nah,
meant
not
Common.
Common. I wish maybe Common will make it into these
I hope
Resident Evil
not.
though, because I would love to see that.
Plays Nemesis.
Exactly. Nemesis. Then who else we gonna have? What's
Mr.
another
X.
rapper that they cast in like a bunch of movies?
Ice
like,
Cube.
Ice Cube. Yeah,
I don't want to see Common.
You don't want to see Ice Cube as
Mr. X.
Mr. X. I want to see DMX as Mr.
First
X.
of
And
all,
when he
that'd
busts
be
through, he's just saying
terrifying.
X gonna give it to you, chasing you the
But Ice
whole
Cube
time in a
was-
big ass trench coat.
Ice Cube was already Triple X.
Crossover right there, baby.
Remember?
Triple X
Where
Resident
he's-
Evil
Exactly.
crossover.
Resident Evil Triple X crossover.
Where
Vin
he was
Diesel.
Triple X and they didn't even explain what happened to the old
To Vin
Triple X.
Diesel. Nah,
And then he came back in the next movie. So what the fuck? It's like, what happened to the old one? He died. And then like that was it. And then they made the third one with Vin Diesel.
Was that? Oh,
Yeah, where is the
Speaking
return?
of Vin Diesel, I don't know if y'all heard that song he put out.
You got a song?
Yes.
Yes, he
he's
does.
dropping
Yup,
songs.
he has a song out. It's on
He's-
Spotify.
Which
He-
camera do I look at?
Either one.
Which camera do I look at?
He sounded so coked up on that song. He sounded so
Nah, I gotta
coked
listen
up.
to that later.
So coked up.
Like
He ain't doing nothing in quarantine. That's how you know.
Yeah, like that's you hit boredom. Like I guess when you're not shooting any Fast and Furious movies,
Dog, I posted it in my story, dog.
the song.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was so upset. It's
You-
not.
Even the way like the picture of the album cover, you can tell like this guy is coked out of his freaking mind. He is coked out of his freaking mind.
Nah, if he was coked out, that shit would have sounded hard. That shit would have been fire.
I
if
don't-
he
It
was
would have
coked out.
slapped.
I don't know. Sometimes that mixture of that coke and that brown liquor make you think you can sing and you really can't.
He's
Listen,
gonna throw Tyrese and Ludacris on the song next.
probably right. They still beefing with
Fast
The Rock.
and Furious. Yeah, they're gonna make a rock this
The
song.
Rock this.
Let them just do the soundtrack for the next movie.
Is
Like,
Tyrese
fuck it.
still like asking for like
No.
people to listen to the album on
No.
buses and shit?
He's still. He's.
Got some
Tyrese has
nerve.
calmed down a lot, thank God. Like somebody finally like took his phone or some shit. But he like finally he's not online crying. He's not online beefing with The
Yeah,
Rock.
that was
like,
embarrassing. He had this, that whole year for him.
he's
is-
calmed down. Like thank God. Like somebody talked some sense into him, or maybe because he just got married and he just had a kid actually, and like
Aw.
And
now
then-
maybe it calmed him down because he's not on the internet wilding no more.
Yeah, didn't he cause Dr. Dre that million from the Beats deal? 'Cause
He didn't cause
He
it.
didn't cause it, but he
But he didn't
definitely-
help by
he
like
helped
putting
by-
his fucking business out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Crip
dude,
walking in the fucking video and shit. It's about oh shit, he just got paid mad money from from Beats, right?
Yeah.
Was that when he just got the
I
Beats?
think
Just
that-
got the
right?
Beats.
Was
And
that
then-
the yeah?
Next
Well, I was
thing you
gonna
know,
say,
he's
was
on
the
there.
Apple deal?
Yeah, wilding, acting a fool.
That's your boy, man.
Yo, we on, baby. No, nigga, he is not you.
No, he is. Just because you got like you already got money. He had a Starbucks
Like,
in his
no-
backyard.
He had a Benny Hondas and a big ass Bumblebee from Transformer in his living
Yeah,
room.
yes.
Why?
You have a Starbucks in your
I would have
backyard.
that too. I would have Bumblebee in my
But here's the thing, though. Why would you have like a Starbucks or a Benny Honda in your backyard? Just
That's
walk
what
down
he
the
likes.
block like a
When
normal
you rich
person.
and you bored,
Exactly.
what else
They
you gonna do?
what if you could buy it, they just do it. Like
That
dudes
LA
was
traffic.
having whole Shark Tanks. You think somebody wasn't gonna buy a Benihana's if you could put a whole shark in your house? Somebody was going to put a
Yeah.
Benihana's in their
Yeah,
backyard.
I mean, Nicolas Cage. That's what on last week's episode we saw about Nicolas Cage bought a
yeah,
Cobra.
that's what I'm saying. Like because they got the money to do it, they just spend it on crazy shit.
I
but
just got my first check. What you gonna do with it? Invest in some stocks
Michael Jackson
for the black
literally
community?
had a pet
Nah.
monkey.
Exactly.
Buy a cobra.
A pet monkey. He had a pet monkey, a
And
packer.
a zoo.
He had
And a
an
zoo.
entire zoo in a theme park.
We were
And you
talking about
think
theme parks
Tyrese
last
crazy?
week. He took it to another.
Who we talking about now?
He's saying Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but at
Michael
least
Jackson
he
had a whole amusement.
Yeah, but he had an
park.
amusement
Exactly.
park. That's different. That is different.
That is
How
very
is that
different.
different
very
than
different.
Benihana's?
This is turning into a different episode. But
No,
his
no,
monkey
that's very different.
It's very different.
walked
least he
around
went-
with him. Like, literally.
But at least he went
his
all
monkey.
out.
Yeah, I bet you that monkey can kick your ass.
It's a monkey. It is a monkey. They can. You know how many? Yeah, that's. You could bring a monkey in here right now. You probably fuck up everybody in
Exactly.
here.
I
Like,
was with him
It
till
is
he
a
said
monkey.
So,
I was down with him until he said something about the monkeys kicking our asses.
It's a monkey.
It's a
Michael Jackson
monkey.
walking in
It
here
is a
right now with
monkey.
that monkey.
First of all,
Next
Michael Jackson's
episode-
dead. So if he walk in,
All I'm saying
fucking
is,
out.
It's a spooky episode.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Michael Jackson.
Anyway, but before we, because like I said, I know the freeform discussion is gonna come up, but before we get way off topic, just to finish off any other like movie news coming out, I'm hyped for this. I want to see, because I think there's gonna be a whole type of rebranding of this character. So Jamie Foxx announced that he's reprising his role as Electro in the next third installment in the Spider-Man Home series, which I swear to God, if they don't call it Homeschooled because of COVID, like it's not gonna make no sense. They better call it Spider-Man Homeschooled or
It should be
some
called
shit like that.
Homesick.
Homeschool,
That's
baby.
not far
COVID,
fetched. I
man.
kind of like homes.
It makes sense. Everybody's at home to school, like everyone's like, come on,
Because
Not in the
I'm more hurt
multiverse.
because Leroy's my guy. So that's why I'm more hurt.
bro. It better be.
Homesick.
It's got to take place him in front of a webcam on Zoom the entire time. I swear to God, I better call homeschool.
But that's how
either
he got
way.
fucked up in the last movie because he was on that big ass cam with his identity reveal.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
He got
there's so
snitched
many,
on.
there's
They
so many
still gotta
routes that they're
die.
gonna go with this. But
Yeah, I
it's-
have no idea
So,
where they're going with this.
yeah, because it looks like they're trying to set up, because the last Spider-Man movie, introduced the multiverse. No, it didn't introduce the multiverse in the
The
MCU.
theory of
Doctor
it.
Strange
It was a
really
fake
did.
multiverse.
but it expanded on it a little more. That other characters were aware that there wasn't a multiverse.
Like
the
the possibility of it.
Yeah. So with this movie, with them bringing back Jamie Foxx as Electro, like I'm assuming that it may be still the same.
Electro.
Yeah, that same Electro from the second Amazing Spider-Man movie that it
Nah,
was.
Jamie
But he-
Foxx came out and released a statement. He was saying like he is gonna be Electro, but he's not gonna be blue again, and he's gonna be a little more badass. So I don't think it's the same Electro.
That's the thing, because it's not saying that he's not the same character that he was. I forget the name, but I think it's just that's why I'm saying I think it's gonna be a rebranding. So they're gonna go with the Yellow Lightning,
They
and they're gonna
better
make
give him his lightning mask.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Stupid fucking lightning
Right.
mask.
They can make
Stupid.
it. They can make it like MCU, like they make it
They're
all
probably-
modern
they're pro-
tech
they're
and
probably
stuff.
gonna-
But if it's like at least an homage that has like the
Yeah.
yellow and the green on it, that's all I want.
They're probably
Like,
gonna make reference to that. 'Cause
That's they usually do that in one way.
it's
Like
so-
even
they
if you,
pull off Mysterio.
because you
so,
gotta
like,
look at it. Yeah,
Okay,
like
time
the
out.
MCU usually there's a lot of
That shit
people
ain't
that have
as
like
bad.
a bunch of goofy ass costumes, but at some point you'll see that costume in some aspect. Like even in Luke Cage,
Yeah,
like when he
yeah.
broke out of prison,
Yeah.
and he because they
I
the,
look
the
like
little
a
thing,
damn
yeah,
fool.
it made it look like the tiara and everything. He only had the chain to hold up his pants, and he said that, yeah, I look like a damn fool. Like you think about it, yeah, a lot of those costumes were goofy as hell back in the day. Like it's like you try to bring that to the big screen. Like with WandaVision, looks like the way they're making it, because they see one scene, it looks like it's on Halloween, and you see
Yeah.
Vision in his original
Yeah.
costume. So for stuff
And
like that,
Wanda,
I like how they make it work. So like I said, like I agree with you. Like they probably do some type of reference to it, but he definitely said he will have Yellow Lightning in his Instagram post that he now deleted. In that same post, because he said swipe left after the announcement, and so he had some fan art that showed like 3 different Spider-Man, like the 3 different ones: Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield. and then it showed like him like in the clouds or whatever. So it seems like, you know, with them going with the multiverse route for this new phase of MCU, like this is pretty much gonna be like the Spider-Verse like live action movie, because I'm pretty sure if they're gonna bring in him, and I've been hearing a lot of rumors with Tobey Maguire being brought back.
Yeah, and Andrew
that's
Garfield
lit.
too.
Yeah,
there was
that's
rumors
lit.
today with Kirsten Dunst even.
Exactly.
And they're all rumors,
Yeah.
but they're starting to pop up
But
pretty heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so far, a lot of rumors when it comes to a lot of comic book movie announcements they've all became true. Like, there's been nothing
Thank
that
God.
was a big rumor that we didn't see happen. Like, oh, we thought, it's like, no, it actually, we eventually end up seeing it. So hey man, if they setting up a Sinister Six type of universe, which I think they are,
They've been trying to do Sinister Six since
because they were trying with the
and they
Andrew
keep getting
Garfield,
canceled.
you know, movie. So I think this is their way for them to continue doing that. You know,
Speaking of, I haven't heard nothing about the Morbius movie.
It got delayed.
Yeah.
It got bumped out
A
of.
bunch of them just
Yeah.
quiet.
That's another thing. Like with
And the trailer looked good too.
Yeah.
I was hyped.
so a lot of stuff got delayed. You know,
Venom,
even
because Venom 2 got delayed too.
Venom 2 got delayed.
I'm good on Venom too.
Shazam 2 all the way back till June 2nd, 2023. So
They even took. I heard they allegedly. I don't know if it's true, but allegedly they took Black Adam off the filming list.
Yeah, it just doesn't have
so it
a
doesn't even
release
have
date
release
right
date.
now.
Yeah, because I'm seeing from
It's
this
getting
list
made,
like
but
this.
they're just like
This in Minecraft no longer. I didn't even know they were making a Minecraft
Is it?
movie.
Listen,
Yeah.
Don't
that's
get them
gonna be
started.
big.
Don't get them started.
Yeah, Minecraft. Is this gonna be a CGI like movie? Like done by like Illumination?
If the animation is good, kind of like how the Lego movie was good, it was like the first of its kind, then it could be a big thing.
Lego movie
I can
was
see it working.
bomb, yo.
Yeah,
Like Lego movie, like the graphics was phenomenal.
monumental. Dune is delayed until October 1st, 2021, which kind of would have clashed with the Batman, which is also delayed. So it looks like they moved that back to March 4th, 2022.
Batman got COVID.
Man, that's the one that hurts me the most. He did get COVID, but they did resume shooting this week or last week. They did resume,
Yeah.
you know, and even from the trailer, they said that was from only 25% of the movie being shot, and I felt like that trailer showed a lot of good stuff, only a little bit of the movie being shot. So that one, it sucks to see that one delayed for another like 2 years or so.
This makes me sad because I was low-key getting hyped. I was like, okay, if all the movies get delayed from this year to next year, we're just gonna have double the amount of dope movies next
Yeah,
year.
like, we
but
just-
now all the movies next year getting delayed again. It's like, all right,
So-
so we just don't have a year
Just-
without movies.
yeah.
Isn't Ben Affleck back as Batman now? He's
In the
back on?
Flash.
In the Flash.
Yeah, so he's gonna be
Flashpoint
in the
movie.
Flashpoint movie, which that is even delayed till November 4th, 2022, which is fine. That's fine, because I don't even think. What did it have a 2021 release date?
Yeah.
I can't-
We
did it?
still got
Yeah.
the Zack Snyder reboot anyway. Well, not reboot.
But his
Director's
version
cut.
of it,
I
yeah,
thought the Snyder
yeah,
cut. That should look alright.
yeah.
They still have Wonder Woman 84, and I'm
Well, that's done already.
The Snyder
Well,
cut
still,
look
but
alright.
I'm hearing they're
just
just.
talking about like
I'm hearing that they're just gonna just say screw it. They're just gonna drop it. They're not gonna
Ah,
delay anymore.
please
They're just
do.
gonna drop it on demand.
Please do, like.
yeah, they
wait,
need to. They need to
yeah.
do that with most movies coming
That's what
out.
I'm
It's,
saying,
it's the
like-
new format where we watch videos literally.
Yeah, you can see
Anywhere.
how all the studios are just trying to hold on to that old way of just they're trying their hardest,
Gotta get with the times,
but they got to get with the
man.
times. It's not gonna be that way. They're
New
not.
Mutants was supposed to come out like 3 years ago. Yo.
Yeah.
I think 2016, right?
That shit was supposed to been come out, dude. Oh god. I think they working on Sonic too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Sonic
are.
2 is supposed to
Yep.
come
Sonic
out.
was okay.
I actually liked the Sonic.
It was
film.
alright.
I
It was
actually
okay.
liked it.
It's way better than I expected.
Yeah, I was like, oh, did they finally make a video game film that's dope?
No.
What you talking about? They been did that.
What movie?
Nah,
Mortal
no.
Kombat.
Oh, okay. Good job.
The first one.
I thought you were going
The
Super
first
Mario.
That's what I thought.
That
it
too.
was.
I was gonna say Super Mario. I really was going.
That's
to
what I
do
thought
that,
you was gonna say. We was gonna
but
argue.
Nah, Mortal Kombat.
That movie's still good, yo.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, I think that movie still holds up.
Annihilation.
I'm very excited for
We're not
even
talking
that.
about
Like,
Annihilation.
but I don't think they even set a release date for the next
For the
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
They just cast it all, which is a good sign. That means that the script and stuff is probably done.
Yeah. So whenever we get a release date for that, I will say 2022 for that movie. I will predict it'll be coming out around then.
I thought Sonic was great. Sonic, to me, that's one of the best video game films.
It was alright.
It's one of the best video games.
It was
I
It was
really
like every other like adaptation of cartoon to movie where it's like they from another world, they befriend a human, they try to get back to their world. It's always the same shit. Like, and the same guy too. The same
James
Cyclops.
Marsden.
Yeah, he was in fucking Peter Rabbit and and like it was the same plot for Yogi Bear. It's like it's all the same shit.
I forgot there was a Yogi
Even
Bear.
like the Smurfs movies.
The Smurfs
and
movie, like
the Chipmunks movies.
Smurfs was cute.
So it's the same.
But I
Smurfs
enjoyed
was
all
mad
those
cute.
movies.
Yeah,
I didn't see
I'm probably the wrong
Smurfs,
person.
Smurfs was adorable. I didn't see this. They made a second one.
They made like
Yeah, they
three.
made two. No,
The
it's
two?
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see those.
Cause I remember Katy Perry as Smurfette. Yeah. I mean, hey, she's a babe. I think she's got a kid on the way.
I think she had a kid already with
Did she?
Orlando
Yeah.
Bloom.
Oh, that's who she's with. Oh.
Yeah.
Nobody's surprised.
Oh, I know. Well, congratulations to Katy Perry. You know. What else is that? Is that most of all the news? Did anything else happen in the world of anything crazy going on other than your boy Drake?
Yes, I'm waiting on it. Yes.
That whole SZA,
Oh.
Controversy. Because what? It
He
was a
keeps
song.
snitching on himself.
Ah,
That's the
that's
thing.
his
Like
thing.
it just
That's his
wrong
thing.
with
That
it.
is the trend in hip hop. You should know
No,
this.
it's not.
Yeah, that's the trend.
not.
You cannot be an MC unless you start snitching on yourself.
In
I'm
any
telling you.
capacity.
If the people
You
don't
want
know,
me, you gotta start snitching. Look at Tekashi 69. He's still going strong.
No, he's not. His
Which
album
is
went
sad.
like triple aluminum. Nobody bought that shit. That's why he's so quiet. He did all that hype. All his videos was shot in the same daycare.
I'm glad
and
it
shit.
happened to him because I was afraid the kids were going to like just look over all his BS and just still play him anyway.
well, his YouTube videos did break a lot of records though.
Sadly.
Okay,
But the album
That's what
itself,
I'm
the
saying.
album
Yeah.
doesn't reflect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He
You could buy views.
Yes,
You could buy views.
True, that is true.
you can.
I don't want to be the guy to defend him because I'm not the guy to defend him. But the only thing I'm gonna say,
Shit.
might edit this part out. But nah, artists never really make money off their albums anyway. Like the album comes, I mean the money comes from the revenue of clothing,
Which he has
everything
none.
else. So his merchandise is probably where he's getting his income
What
from.
merch?
I didn't even know he had merch.
Me neither.
What's he sell like
He's got a
wigs?
lot of-
His
Hey,
couple
brother.
Oh, why don't y'all
You sound angry
He's
there.
wearing his merch in his videos. That stuff with the little like rainbow stuff on it is
That's
merch.
his merch, yeah.
Yeah, it's selling.
Well, and that was one of the reasons that his album flopped so hard because his album was supposed to do crazy numbers, but one of the big things in the streaming game recently that they've been changing the numbers with, the rules with, is with album bundles.
Yeah, you can't-
And
it's
that
not
happened
allowed.
with DJ
Yeah.
Khaled,
Yup.
where he tried to make every purchase of a Monster energy drink also give them a free download and also count for an album sale.
And then be
And-
mad at
And
Tyler,
Billboard
the
was like, no,
creator.
no, like that's
No,
too
no.
much.
Did
So-
Jay-Z do something like that years ago?
with
Years ago.
Yeah.
Magna Carta
Oh,
Holy
yes,
Grail
where you
and
got a-
Samsung.
you got a
If you had a
Samsung,
Samsung
yeah.
phone.
Or the
Yeah.
magnet
So
from
Billboard
that.
has been updating the rules. So originally, Tekashi 69 album was like set to do a lot of numbers, and then they took away like 100,000 units because they're all like illegitimate bundle sales, and then it flopped.
I hate when artists do shit like that. Like it's so corny to me. Like I'll still never forgive U2 for having that stupid album
Oh,
on my
yeah.
iTunes
When you
that
got-
I did not ask for.
When you
bro.
get the phone, the YouTube album is automatically
Yeah,
on there.
like, bro, I didn't. Nobody wanted this. Literally, nobody. Like, get out of here.
Thank you, Sonny Bono, for that. But yeah, as much as you like to glorify yourself as the simp guy, Drake definitely has you beat.
So just
Drake
revisit
just
what
has
Drake
more
actually
money
did.
and
Yeah.
access to
Drake
the
has
people I
you
want to
beat.
simp for. That's the only thing. So
And I had this discussion with you yesterday about how Drake is the simp god because
he gets with a lot of beautiful
He-
women, but just can't keep any of them.
Yes, that and
Like-
because none of those women ever talk about him. He always names drop women, but they never name drop him. They never claim him. None of them. Not even his porn star baby moms.
Yeah.
There's contracts. His
The
NDAs.
non-disclosure, yeah, them non-disclosure.
That's why they don't
contracts.
talk about it.
Yeah, because then Justin.
But then
Bieber
he-
used to have
but
them
he
too.
bring-
Yeah,
like-
Bieber had non-disclosures.
Bieber
They
had
took
to
away
do.
their phone and stuff before they hooked up.
You know,
Real weird.
but the thing is, like, why
But
sign
Bieber's
it?
not name dropping either.
If anybody gonna talk
That's
about it,
true.
it's gonna be me. That's Drake's
Well,
philosophy.
no,
on it.
because that's Drake. Listen, 90% of rappers are snitches on
But
themselves.
half those women that
don't speak for me.
if I've been with them, I wouldn't care. Like he's been what? Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez,
Bernice,
who?
Instagram
Bernice, yeah, Georgia Smith,
Georgia Smith.
SZA, like
Rihanna.
And
Rihanna.
to bring it back for the people who don't know, Drake on the new Savage Mode album
Serena
had a
Williams.
feature where he admitted to dating SZA
In
back
08.
in 08.
Back in 08.
But if you do the math
Yup.
and you find out how old SZA was in 08, That's when it starts to get
But
a little
she came back
sketchy.
and said it was actually 09 instead of 08. So
Oh, did she?
She was actually
Okay.
He's probably just trying to make
Okay.
the line
Yeah.
fit, so
The
he
line
said
fit.
08.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you know.
Still
I'm
1
just giving
year,
him the benefit of the
though.
doubt. I don't know. I could be lying, or maybe she's just looking out for him and like, yeah, I was pretty young, but I'm gonna, you know, I don't want people attacking him because it's bad enough that whole Millie Bobby Brown situation that he was caught
Texting
up
her,
in.
I love you or I miss you.
Yeah,
Taking pictures with
bro.
11 and
It's
shit.
like,
Yeah.
chill, son. What you
Like,
doing?
bro, she's 14.
You a
Bro,
grown
that's
ass-
11.
Nigga, you a grown ass man. What's wrong with you?
She got a shaved head.
Looking really Robert Kelly-ish right now, man.
But yeah, Drake is safe to say that Drake is the simp lord. Revenge of the simp.
Simp God.
Simp guard. Attack of the
Not the
simp.
sixth God, the simp God.
Simp God, baby.
He's the simp lord.
You know, damn, I might change my name to Simp God.
Look at your big old shirt that says Simp God on it.
That's gonna be my rap alias now. For anytime I do any rap, Simp God. That's it.
I will
Green
be
will-
on none of those records.
Leroy Green will be the beat maker and the DJ. Simp God will be the rapper. And that's all I rap about.
It's gonna be just him with us.
That's all I need. The only time I ever did rap, I just had like that whole project. I just had me on the whole thing. It's gonna be a simp
Mark, you
thing.
getting on that?
on the
Like
Simp
Simp
God
God.
You
project?
getting on the simp guy?
Bro,
EV?
he might have some stuff he
Jay,
wants.
what
to
about
say.
you? You gonna get on the Simp God project, Jay?
I
You
got
getting on his simp guy project?
Listen, man. Cut those cameras off. Okay?
I'm telling you, man, that's gonna take off, man. Cause this will be it would be out of the box music that I don't even normally make. It would be super commercial and everything. I'd just be literally just
And
a
it's gonna
parody of
blow
all.
up.
Exactly.
And
Cause that's
call-
the shit that
and
always
call-
happens.
And call it Welcome to Simp City.
Exactly. Simp
Shit gonna be black and
But this
white.
all sounds like a fun idea.
This shit gonna be black and white.
Call it Simp City.
It's gonna have the yellow dude in it. Ew.
And then I'm gonna make
You get it. You get it.
and then I'm gonna make a compilation. It's gonna be called The Simpsons. That's why I got everybody on there. I got everybody. It's gonna have The Simpsons.
Yo, simp up, squad up, simp up.
You know. Have a
That's,
little young rapper named Young Simpa. You know,
Yo, simp up.
you know.
Little simp.
And that drops next September, right?
Next September,
September,
bro.
yup.
We
2021,
only
we
put
got
out
a year.
literally we'll only put out music every September. That's it.
There we go.
Y'all could call it No Simp September. No, it's September for me.
No new simps.
Yeah, speaking of September, we're not in September, we're in October. So October is so yeah, this is the time I watch like the most horror movies every year. I usually binge watch my same favorites and all that. Plus I watch like a lot of new ones. So but I just want to hear what's y'all go-to horror movies. Like I'm pretty sure everyone here has like a favorite like series or anything like that. So like just I want to have that discussion to get into
Friday
that. So
the 13th series.
sorry, 13th. That's it.
Jason
Tell us why you f's with Mr. Voorhees.
Oh, for sure.
In the
'cause
series.
he's straight to the point. Like as
Good.
a kid, as a kid, Freddy scared me more. But Freddy would play with you before he kills you. Jason just fucking kills you.
He's a
Like-
force of nature.
Yeah, like he'll take a minute to get to you, but when he gets you, like it's a wrap. Like, and then we had our conversation earlier with homie who tried to square up with Jason.
Shoot that face.
Tried to shoot.
That face.
I mean, I will give him, that was in part 8. That was in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yes, it was.
I will give him props because they were on top of a roof. So it was
Yeah.
either I either jump or I go out like a G.
Much respect to him.
He went out like a man.
And he almost got it. He had him on the edge, but
got tired.
He so happened to
He
get
just winded,
tired.
yeah.
Cardio.
This was
That cardio was trash.
this was before Tybo. So
Before CrossFit.
before CrossFit, before Tybo, before Tummy Tea, before all that shit. So like as soon as he had him on the edge, he's tired. His hands is all bloody and shit. He done sweat all in his Adidas sweatsuit. He's like, yo, all right. And then what killed me was he's like, all right, here, your turn. Boop, and his head just flew the fuck off his
Knocked
neck
his block off.
Literally.
into the nearest neighborhood trash can.
That shit closed too.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
probably the most legendary like Jason kill. Like,
Definitely,
sure,
Yeah.
Definitely.
What's your favorite
Yes.
Friday the 13th movie?
Ooh, that's a great one. I think I like the concept of Jason Goes to Hell.
That was
Yeah.
the ninth.
right before
one.
Jason X, I think. Yeah.
Yes, that one. Where
Ironically, that's the one I hate the
where
most.
the man.
X?
What?
Yeah.
9 I hate the most.
Me too.
I think it's
Wait, Jason Goes to Hell. Y'all hate?
I hate
Yeah.
that
Y'all
one.
looking the fuck out.
Nah.
Wait. Y'all like Jason X?
Yes.
Yeah, better than
Had
X.
some of the best kills in the entire franchise.
Listen, I do not condone the comments that was made. These comments reflect
Jason
solely
X?
Gregory,
Jason
the
X,
comedian.
20 times
and
better than
Leroy
Jason Goes to
Greenlee.
Hell. First of all,
Jason X is dumb, but it's fun.
exactly.
Jason X is dumb, yes, like you said. All right, look, I like the concept of Jason Goes to Hell because, first of all, the funny thing about Jason Goes to Hell is that his mask like barely fits.
Yeah, because his head is so like swollen after years of getting blown up and coming back together,
nigga-
where it's just like all disproportionate and
Yo,
everything.
his head was like
and the mask was
growing
barely-
over the mask.
Yeah, it was overlapping basically.
It was like embedded in his skin.
Yo, his brain was like sticking out through the mask.
Like, yo, my man
It was the most.
Jason.
It was the
Oh my
goofiest
God.
looking Jason out of all.
you put
Uber
on some
Jason
weight.
from Jason X looks way better. Like that's. And you like the concept of 9, but I can't get. I don't like the concept of 9 because
That's with
9.
the worm, right?
He was barely
Yeah,
in it.
9 is a Jason movie
That
that,
shit is
doesn't
good.
have Jason in it.
And it's supposed to be the final.
Yeah.
Like it was supposed to be. He Goes to Hell. Like the supposed to be like the
Jason
final
was
one.
definitely in it.
How
Definitely
in the
in it.
beginning when he
In
got
the
blown up?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
But
And at the end, and that was it.
was
Time
it.
out. My favorite
You sure?
part.
You sure? I'm about to
My
say. I think you
favorite
should
part
change.
from that movie was
You still hold on?
when yes I am. My favorite part was I forgot who he possessed at that moment, but the lady in the restaurant was trying to stop him and he punched her in the fucking face and made her swallow her teeth.
Okay, I remember that kill.
Yo,
that
that
was
yeah.
actually pretty.
She's like, that guy, he's had like
Oh yeah, she was like,
Yeah.
oh, everything, all her teeth just went down her throat and she just like passed out. That's amazing. It's like I said, Jason is like straightforward. Like I said, you know, there was always the comparison with Freddy, Jason. They both were on New Line, whatever. But like I said, Freddy was with the bullshit. Like he'll fucking make you think he a bad bitch.
Sometimes you gotta distress your victim so much.
Nah,
you know
dog.
what I
Well,
mean?
even
Well,
in Freddy
Just
versus
kill me,
Jason,
dog.
well,
just kill
Jason
me.
had way more kills than Freddy by the
Yeah,
end
he
of
has-
it.
yeah,
Because Freddy
yeah.
took too long.
Jason,
Yeah.
Jason has the most kills out of any slasher.
Yeah,
Yeah, exact-
They counted it up.
He
Fucking
has-
point.
Yeah,
Point.
and I trust me because Jason Voorhees is my favorite slasher.
Right.
So I get it, but
See,
like,
but that says everything about Jason. Ain't no foreplay involved with him, so like, he just goes straight to it. Like he don't even
he's
warm
supposed
it
to be an
up.
I don't see
unstoppable
the problem
force of
with it.
nature. He's a juggernaut.
Exactly.
Like I always said, Freddy was funny. He enjoyed his work. Jason was an
He has
unstoppable force.
swag to him. That
He has
fedora,
swag to him.
that
Jason-
Christmas sweater.
Yeah, Jason,
The glove inspired by Michael Jackson.
The fedora.
You know,
The fedora.
exactly.
He had the new nightmare. He had a new coat.
Exactly. That church goes hard. That's why Freddie had drip. Jason.
Okay, yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, Freddie had drip.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is an Air Max 95 coming out, Freddy edition. That's
see,
coming out.
that's what I mean. And then the
They
SB Dunks that came out a while back. The
Yeah.
Freddie ones. How many Jason sneakers are there?
But both
Crocs. They don't count because it looked like a hockey mask.
But hold up though.
Crocs don't
Anytime Crocs.
they just got the little red.
That's what I'm
triangles.
saying. It looks like a hockey
But
mask.
anytime they do mostly
Uh-huh.
a parody of a slasher, it's always a hockey face killer. It's
Yeah,
always
I mean, it's
'Cause
he's
it's iconic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Yeah, exactly.
He's an iconic
You gotta
figure.
say he's probably the biggest iconic slasher there is.
it ain't
like-
Freddy versus Chucky.
The
It's
only
Freddy
weird
versus Jason.
thing that they
Ew,
do,
fuck
like
Chucky.
while we're on the subject of
Nah, don't
Freddy,
say
the
that.
only
Don't
thing
say
like
fuck
when
Chucky.
when
Chucky-
they
because okay, like I said, I'm gonna break it down to like this.
I bet.
Like I said, Freddie had swag
Okay.
and drip. He was funny. He enjoyed
Okay.
his work.
Okay.
Jason was an unstoppable force.
Okay.
Michael Myers was creepy and stalkerish.
Yeah.
And Chucky, what made him good was that he was a fucking dick. Chucky was a dick. Like he really,
he was an asshole.
he was an a-hole.
Asshole.
Like, he was a straight up a-hole. He always insulted you right before he was gonna kill you. And then I remember it wasn't that good, but it was the one, not the cola Chucky, but the curse of Chucky. He literally made fun of the girl because she was paralyzed. Like
Yeah, he did.
He
Yeah, he
did.
did.
Like that's
Yeah.
how much of a dick this guy is.
Yeah, but the difference is the rest of those guys, you could still fear those guys as adults. Let Chucky walk in this fucking room right now.
Let me tell you something. Your ass was probably scared when you saw the first one when his head turned around 360. Was like, I'm Chucky.
see, the
wanna
thing-
play?
the
No,
thing-
no, no. I was scared when he was burnt to a
Exactly.
crisp, and they threw him in the
Exactly.
fucking
The fireplace.
fireplace, and he still came out. His head talking to his body, talking about get him,
Choke him!
yeah,
Choke him! And that
But-
little burnt hand was on his throat. He's like,
yeah, the little ass arm.
Exactly. See that's the thing. People forget like they established in that movie. Like, yeah, you can say let Chucky walk in here right now, but depending on how long he's been in possessed,
The remake was ass.
But depending on how long he's been in that body, he pretty much has the full strength of a grown man. That's why he was able to choke that dude
Yeah, you
with a
and me-
little ass dog.
Yeah,
Like,
you and me talking
like
that
he
shit,
said,
he
like
had
the
a voodoo
longer you
dog.
were in there, the more human you were turning. And if you even pay attention closely, you see his hairline receding on the doll.
Yeah.
Like it was starting to reflect like
I
him.
think-
So I think he still retains like his full strength as like a 40 or 30-year-old man, like still in a doll. So yeah, he probably kick that door open right now. It'll look funny, but I don't think you want to get that close because
Why we fucking him up?
if he catch you in the kneecaps, he gonna bring you down.
He gonna
And
stab the
here's
shit
the
out of
thing.
your ankles.
Here's the thing. People get misconstrued of like how Chucky does. Like he's not the type of killer that's just gonna walk in and try to take on everyone. He knows he's a dog. He
Deception.
Exactly.
He's
He
cerebral.
he tricks people into getting into kill. Like look at all his kills. He's never just gonna straight up run at you or come towards you. He always surprises his victim.
He
like
did to
my
that
man,
teacher.
Yeah, that's
the
it. He
stick,
hid in the
with the
closet,
yardstick.
and then like
no, but he came at the. He
he jumped out of
the
out of
closet.
here. Like
And caught in
surprise.
a surprise.
Like, that's what I'm
I
saying.
want to hear what Jay
that's how-
Holland got to say.
Yeah, that's the
No,
good
I was
about it.
gonna say like the thing about some of the horror killers you're talking about. It all depends on your age range. Where if you're a kid and you got toys in your room, you're terrified of Chucky because the idea that one of these dolls can just get up and kill you in your
Oh,
sleep.
see, I ain't have
Exactly.
toys.
So even like other horror movies, like we were talking about The Boy the other day or whatever. Like that's all kind of from Chucky. Like it's a doll premise that this doll can get up and kill you. So even if you don't necessarily like Chucky, it's still like
Yeah, he can
he's
catch
still
you. He can
influenced,
catch you in
like-
your sleep.
yeah,
like,
like-
you know what I mean.
And
Like,
also one of the, I mean, he bought it. Like Chucky was the one that went mainstream, but
Right.
really to me, what started it all was if you're ever in the Twilight Zone, that episode of Talking Tina.
yeah, that's the episode.
That doll was creepy, and because what made it creepy was like she would say something like this: "I'm talking Tina, and I don't like you very much." It's like, what did I do, bitch? What did I do to you?
And then and Goosebumps did the same shit.
Slappy,
with
Slappy.
Slappy used to scare the shit out
Yo,
of me,
same, bro. Slappy was like my
Slappy is-
first
He's my
real
favorite.
big
He was
fan.
my favorite from the book series.
Scary as
Yeah.
hell.
But yeah, like just for your favorite franchise being Friday
Friday
the
the
13th.
13th, yeah.
My favorite personally out of there was Part 6 because Part 6 was a movie where at that point, being it's numbered so much, and it was a Jason movie that didn't take itself too seriously. Like they had more fun with the concept.
That's when he got resurrected, right?
Yeah, he did by
The Lightning.
Tommy Jarvis on his third iteration. I forget the actor's name. Who played him?
For the third one?
Yeah, because
The first
the first one was Corey Feldman. The second one I forget his name, and the third one I think his name was also Tommy or Thomas. I forget his name. But he's personally my favorite because again, Part 6 was my favorite one. Like they had a lot of fun with this movie. Like even in the very opening, they do a James Bond opening. When he's like walking in the gun barrel. Let's say you see Jason walking, he slashes and the blood comes
That's
out. Like
funny.
Yeah.
so. In that Part 6, I think had the best look with his little military belt and the yellow gloves and the darker mask and the spear that he had. He even had little throwing knives that they incorporated to later stuff like in the game. So
He had,
And that's when he really started like walking slow in that one, right? Because he was
He
like a
power
zombie.
walked.
yeah, because
Power
before like you see him
Yeah.
running like especially in Part 2, like he runs a lot in the second movie, and then like in the third one he's doing like a little bit of running but not like fully on. But this one he's pretty much power walking.
Seeing Jason run is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It is. That's
Especially
not
the
a
second
dude.
one with
That's
the
not a
burlap
dude-
sack.
Yeah, that's
That
not a
was
dude I want to
terrifying.
see
Yeah, that's
running at me in
terrifying.
full speed. Like even in Part 9, like he was running at full speed in Part 9. Like he was moving
he
in
was
that
hefty.
movie. I was pretty sure at one point he was gonna get up on a bike and like ass in the air, at somebody in full fucking speed at one point. So that's how much he was moving in that one.
That's
and-
frightening, dude.
Yeah,
Like
and
Jason running at you like my man from Get Out.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Except he's not gonna make that sharp 90-degree angle. He's just gonna run through you into a pink mist. Like that's it.
Rip you down the middle.
Exactly.
Murdoch, what's your favorite?
The battery down?
My favorite
As soon as they camera.
Favorite horror series.
My favorite horror series is the Saw movies.
There you go.
Okay.
I love the Saw movies.
So you're a gore man.
I'm a gore man, but like surprisingly, the thing that I like the most about the Saw movies is that every movie adds to the lore and the mythology of Jigsaw. Like they continue to go back into his backstory and say like what made him so messed up and what made him like want to do this and like what his original plans were and like how his wife's child died and all that. So like they just really kept adding on the mythology of Jigsaw, and I really loved Tobin Bell, and I liked how every movie just like added more and more into his psyche. And then the traps, of course, like they were just super creative. I like cool set pieces, and I'm just like, you know, how can they make something else that's like really dope and just like, oh damn, that's fucked, you know?
And I think also with Saw, it goes back to what I said before. Saw was a film that was another horror film that revolutionized the genre, because when you watch the first Saw, all Saw did was take the concept of a horror film and turn it inside out. Literally turn it inside out.
That first twist in the Saw movie, like, really messed with people.
Yeah.
And if you look back, the first Saw is such a low budget movie. Like and there's like barely any gore in it. Like besides the last scene, there's like really not much gore. And then when they started getting money,
take that and turn it up to 11.
Oh, you guys like the blood in it? Okay.
First time
we like the twist and like the story, like.
And that's another thing. Every movie had the twist. Some of them better than others, but like it was always a nice little mind fuck at the end of a Saw movie of just like, what didn't I see coming? You know.
The first time I seen it was actually at your house. Like when the first one came out. I remember we was watching it. I was like, nah, I can't watch this. It was just, it was like the first scene. And I'm like, when does the killer? You know, like horror movies, it's always a killer. Like he's not entered the room yet. Like what's going on? And then it's a game. They gotta like cut the arm off. It was like, I can't.
Son, that was the first time I saw.
Because that's what I love, the anticipation. Like, is he going to do it? Like, you know, at one point.
It turned it inside out. That's why I love it.
And I love, like, because there's so much. It takes place like the majority of the movie is in that one room, but it's like everything around that room keeps like the story going. Because like every little thing they keep finding out keeps driving the plot, you know, and you finding out more and more, because like everything on the surface you don't really know. It's two guys trapped in a room, there's a dead body on the floor, you know, so like what the hell is going on? Like we don't know the concept of what Saw is at this point like we do now, like if they come out with a Saw movie. So everything in there and every scene we're learning more and more and driving, you know, that the writing and the plot points in that movie. And I think that was super interesting.
And the score. The Hello Zepp theme is so iconic.
Yeah, definitely.
I love the music.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, so, like, definitely, which is your favorite Saw movie? And then I was gonna ask everyone either what's your favorite trap, or if you were to get captured by Jigsaw, what's the trap that you like? What's one trap you think was like the easiest to get out? Like you think, okay, if I were put in a situation, this one I could easily get out, or which was the one that you don't? And also, which trap you don't want to ever be placed in?
I would have to see some of them to like really remember.
There's so many traps.
I know which one I wouldn't want to be in.
I know which one I don't want to be in.
I know it's 90% of them for me.
I know two of them I don't want to be in. I think there was one where a girl got tossed in a bunch of like heroin needles.
I was about to say that one.
That one makes me cringe every time.
I was gonna say that one. Yeah. That was like the worst.
And my man just tossed her in there. He said
that was his trap, and he wouldn't do it, so he tossed the other girl in there.
And I was just like, I mean, it went everywhere. I was like, oh.
And she had to like scrape and scroll, and I was just like,
I would not. That's the one.
I've been like, I have AIDS now, man. It hurts, bro.
You got more than AIDS, my nigga. You got everything. That's how COVID started.
Yeah. The one I wouldn't want to be in the most, it was in the third movie. It was towards the end. I think it was the dude who
was folded in.
It was the black dude.
Yep. Oh, he's that detached and it turned his head.
All his limbs got twisted. That's the one because that was slow and painful. Like everything else was a little instant, like the Venus flytrap one. Like you know, like most of some of the stuff was kind of instant. That one,
that one wasn't. In Saw 3, all of those traps didn't have to do with the person. The other guy had to save him too. So like, it doesn't matter if you were good at like survival.
So I gotta rely on somebody else in the most painful trap. You know, so that's the one I would not want to be in. I felt the easiest ones though. Were in, I think it was it the fifth movie where they had to work as a team and they didn't realize they had to work as a team until the end, where it was blatantly obvious all these traps. Like y'all know, if y'all all just participate, it makes it easier. Like I think one of the first traps was they were in like that room, and I think either something, it was gonna explode, and they had like these 3 different like 3 different tunnels to like hide in, but they were like long and deep enough, and it was like a good like 6 or 8 people. Like all I had to do was like, if it were us, we'd be alive because everyone would have just jumped in and just waited for that shit to go off. And it was all blatant stuff. All they had to do was just work as a team, but everyone panicking and thinking like someone has to be out there or someone has to do this. Like even at the
That's not
very
what the games
end,
are about.
yeah, like he was literally just testing people's team building skills, and they failed miserably.
That was the manager at the office trying to up work productivity.
How did that meeting go like this? You know what? We're really losing morale in this place. You know what? I know a guy has some great team building skills. He's a little extreme, but he gets the job done. Now, you might have to sign some waivers, but he's going to get the job done. That's all I'm going to say.
It's like, what's one horror movie that you can't watch that's like too much for you? The Hills Have Eyes 2.
I've heard
The second
VHS
one?
was really
Both-
like gory.
The Hills Have Eyes 2, that has like a wild ass rape scene.
Yeah,
Yo.
no,
I think for me would be
Nah.
any kind of movie like that. Like movies like I Spit on Your Grave, Last
Yeah,
House
yo,
on the
yeah.
Left. Yeah, that's a little, I'm like,
The
ooh.
exploitation movies.
like
Yeah,
rape
the
revenge.
The rape
Yeah, the rape
Yeah.
revenge. I'm like, ugh, I can't. Ugh.
It's just like
The
unnecessarily
rape
shown
scenes are-
for too long.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
like it's really uncomfortable for me to watch those.
like
type
it's a
of
product of the 70s that shouldn't have kept going into today's standards.
Leave it back
Leave it
then.
back.
And I think most of those, especially with today's climate, wouldn't work. Like the backlash would hit the internet, you know, before the movie and releases. So
Yeah, with The Hills Have Eyes 2, it's like you already getting raped, but you getting raped by one of these like things.
yeah,
Like,
bro.
Oh,
It's wild.
and any horror movie that has to do with cannibalism, I really can't mess with it. It's something to do with. It's
I
like
could do the cannibalism.
I don't know. It's
I
weird
really
because it's
can't.
like
I really
I could do
can't.
like
cannibalism.
I
Over
What is
rape?
it?
you know why I could watch it, because I feel like if you go watch zombie movies, you
Yeah,
can watch
okay,
it.
that's
you
what
know?
I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm gonna say this. I love zombie films, but believe it or not, the original Night of the Living Dead
Yes,
was always
yes.
harder for me to watch because it looked like they were really eating people, and I was just like,
So you can't watch Silence of the Lambs?
I can watch Silence of the Lambs, but it doesn't. It's not as like
Intense.
What about Hannibal?
You know,
Because he's literally like eating brains.
Yeah, but he's cooking it though. Like you don't.
That's true,
he's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
cooking it. He's like
He's making
sautéing it.
sauté.
He's
That's
making
just like
sauté.
restaurant food.
Yeah, he's like.
He's like,
Hey, my compliments to the chef. You know, it's like.
But while we on it, just so we still don't deviate, like why you like go? What's like your favorite horror?
Oh,
Oh,
real
yeah, I'm
quick.
sorry.
franchise?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, it's movie or series.
We were doing series, but if do you have,
Okay, so this series itself.
and then afterwards we could get into
Okay.
favorites like
series.
time allowed.
Okay, so favorite series.
Series.
That's a hard one. Okay, I'm gonna say this. It's not so much a series, but more of a genre within a series. Is horror anthologies. So my favorite.
That counts. I feel like
so
that
horror
counts. That counts.
anthologies,
That counts.
because my
yeah.
favorite horror film, The Legacy, is trash. But the first one was legendary, and that is Tales from the Hood. That is my favorite horror film of all time. And I remember I saw it in the theaters. And if you watch that film, that was kind of like one of the first black horror films that had that social commentary under it. Like the way the movie was shot, the way Clarence Williams III played Mr. Sims was
Scary
like,
as hell.
Scary. I'm like,
Scary as hell.
I'm like,
Yeah,
listen,
yo.
screw Candyman. That nigga had me shook.
Scary. Even outside that movie, anything else you see him and you're just terrified.
He was scary as Simpson in Half Baked.
Half Baked, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was Samson Simpson. But like all 4 stories were great in how they were told.
They all had a message.
all had a message. Even the way the funeral home looked, I'm like, ain't no way in hell I can walk down that block. I would take the long way home.
And the ending was bugged out.
Ending, it was because like, okay, so in every
That was always my favorite part. Of the end of the
Bugged
movie.
well,
out.
the ending.
Yeah.
Well, that was good because in every good horror anthology film, there's usually like 3 or 4 stories, and then the last story is kind of like a wraparound. That like for example, another good anthology film that I really enjoyed was Trick or Treat. That was
Yeah,
a really
Trick or
good
Treat's
one,
great.
and had a really good wraparound story. But going back to Tales from the Hood, like when you see it like I said, I saw it in the theaters. When you see it in the theaters, you actually don't get the twist. You kind of don't put 2 and 2 together, and then when you watch it again, you like, oh yeah, how could I have not missed that? But it was crazy, and it was like, oh, okay. And like, it's just the way that I'm like, okay, so the devil in this series really has a flair for the dramatics. He could have just pulled these 3 guys.
I know, right?
But he decided he had to tell them stories.
Exactly. It comes back to playing with your victims.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just break them down and distress them so much.
The way he did it,
The way he did it, though, he was just like, and then the movie had such legendary lines, like, the shit. This shit. And also, fun fact, you should know this very well. The third story in Tales from the Hood, as you may know, is about the dolls. Now, growing up, we had a similar doll from that film. Now, was it the main doll?
I thought it was. When I was a kid, I always thought that doll was the grandma.
Was the grandma.
Yeah, I always thought it was.
We had, like, at my house, my mother had a thing for, like, dolls and porcelain dolls and everything like that. So we had, like, this black grandma doll, and it looked exactly like the grandma, the voodoo woman in the painting. Oh, get the fuck out. Yeah.
And that's my point of, like,
Yeah.
what scares you and why Chucky could be so, like, scary depending on the age range.
but
that doll would creep me out.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing about good horror. Like, there was a point in horror, not to deviate off it, but there was a good point. There was a point in horror where it was nothing but gore fest, and that was because it was, whatever. It was some fanboy shit. It really was. Mm-hmm. Good horror films come from actual fear. Something, you know what I mean? Like, if you look at, like, Wes Craven, when he developed Nightmare on Elm Street, that came from an actual article he read about these Cambodian refugees that were dying in their sleep. And then when he said he got the look from Freddy Krueger when he was a little boy, he lived above the alley, and he saw an old man. He didn't know if he was a lion or whatever, but, like, he had these scars on his face, and he looked, and he had a hat on, like a fedora, and he looked up at him, and then he went under the covers. So, like, real horror comes from actual fear, not just like, hey, let's throw a bunch of blood in there and that's gonna be great. No. And I think with Tales from the Hood, it was actual fear, especially with us as black people. The first story was about police brutality.
Yeah.
The second story was domestic violence.
Yeah.
Third one was about racism.
Yeah.
And the fourth one was about gang violence and black on black crime. And even the fourth one, even the fourth story wasn't that scary, but even the scene when he's on the table, which is very Clockwork Orange inspired.
Yeah.
Watching the footage that he had to watch was unsettling. Still, you know what I mean? So it was a movie that held no punches. I felt like it was a predecessor to Jordan Peele.
Yeah. And, like, all those stories, like, they're relevant to this day. Like, 20 something years later, like, everything, each 4 of those stories and the you know, the points behind them are still super relevant to what everything is going on right there.
Fourth story's fucked
so
up.
It's like stuff like that is what makes the movie timeless.
And to this day, you're still trying to figure out, was that God? Because you really don't know who that was. Because when he's like, I don't give a F, and he goes back to the time when he's about to get shot. He's like, was God trying to give him a second chance? And he just gave him the finger.
Somebody was trying to give you a second chance.
You know what I mean?
You fucked it up.
Exactly. And
Message.
Although it's so funny about that film, you can tell where the budget stopped, because it stopped when the cartoon tongue.
Oh,
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
They ran out of money.
I was like, oh, that's where the budget stopped. Got it. Okay. That part did not age well.
Time out. That's not. I wouldn't say that's where the budget stopped.
I think so.
Because even after that
terrible.
part, the whole Satan outfit after that was pretty scary. And spoiler, like, they ended part 2 the same.
They did. I know. I seen part 2.
I understand for those who didn't. They ended part 2 exactly the same with Keith David, legendary dude Keith David. He did this the voice of Spawn on the HBO series.
Yep.
They had him play this role
Mr.
that they had him play that role. Except when he turned into Satan at the end, it wasn't as much.
It was just
like horns. And
it was like
shit.
they went the spirit. It was like, okay, we need this and that. Now put it
Some
on,
glue,
it on.
you know.
But I
Damn.
will say, out of that craptacular film, that it was Keith David was the only good thing about that film, because I
They brought the dolls back.
Yeah, they brought the. Don't get me started on that one. But oh, get me started. Let me tell you, Leroy couldn't even get past it after that one.
I watched the first story that said
You saw that black ginger man that came out? I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
But the thing about Keith David was that, and I still prefer Clarence Williams III, but Keith David brought his own spin to it. Like, Clarence Williams III played Mr. Sims as creepy, scary, kooky, and Keith David played him like a devil, like sinister. He has that voice. And I don't know if you know this, apparently they did a part 3 and it's premiering tonight on Sci-Fi. So I saw the trailer.
Did you really?
I saw the trailer.
I'm gonna see it right after this.
And I don't know if they're going with the Mr. Sims thing anymore, but Tony Todd, I think, is the one
that's
that's
kinda
carrying.
dope.
All right.
But he's not playing that character. He has a little girl. There's speculation that he's carrying the little girl to the other side. I don't know. It's supposed to be premiering night on Sci-Fi, but I'm like,
Oh, I gotta see that.
not looking
I gotta
onto
check
it.
that out.
But I don't want to deviate off topic. But if something on my mind, I want to put you guys on some game, a horror game. Did you ever see a horror film called Night of the Demons?
I know of it. I ain't seen it.
Not the remake. There's the original.
I was gonna say that's,
The original, and the reason why I want to put y'all onto this because I think this is probably the first horror film that the black guy lives. And not only does he live, he's very smart about it. He's very smart about it. Like the beginning of the film, he's kind of coonish because they go like to the teenage, doing stupid things. They do a seance in a haunted funeral home, and he's like, "My daddy was a preacher. He told me not to mess with that stuff," and he leaves. And it is one part in the film where they're like, do you see like the demons? And he sees them with the stereotypical virgin white girl, and he just jumps back. He doesn't say anything. He's like, and runs, and his leaves are there. And at the end, where they're surrounded by demons, the dude's like, "You ain't gonna get me." He ran and did a full somersault through a window, climbs a barbed wire, and
wanna see
leaves
it.
the white girl.
I
It
wanna
is
see it.
epic,
I
and he
wanna see it.
lives.
I want to see
That's
it.
all I got to say. I'm not gonna go more into it. Night of the Demons, the original, the 1988 version.
I want to
That's
see
it.
it. I want to see it.
Leroy, what's your favorite horror series?
I was caught between two because it was between either A Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream. And the thing was with those movies,
Both Wes Craven.
both Wes Craven,
Master Horror.
both are the best films.
R.I.P. Wes Craven.
Usually the first one. Damn, really? Shit, I was going by that clock up there. So I'm thinking like, my time.
Can we extend it? 5 minutes or no?
Nah, we
Okay.
We'll just get the last two.
Yeah.
Can't you can't read?
I
Bring it back.
can't.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring
I
it back.
can't.
bring it
But
back.
yeah, I always say between my two favorite series, I want to narrow it down to one, but it's usually either between, and I go back and forth all the time, only because Nightmare. I feel like Nightmares there's more misses than it was hits.
Yeah.
Scream
Scream's
being a
like-
shorter series, it's a little easier.
Unless you count the TV show.
The first
then-
season was okay. I'll give it that. The first season was decent. Second season, I didn't really care for it. Third season brought back the original Ghostface mask and voice. But even Tony Todd was in there too.
Ain't
But
part 5 coming out?
Part
Yeah.
5 is coming out, which I'm super excited for. Which I'm hoping will be good. I'm hoping this could be my third favorite in the Scream franchise. My favorite two being the first and the fourth movie. Like
Damn.
the 2 and 3.
Two's definitely better than 3.
Yeah,
3's the worst.
Three's the worst. I will
Three's always
agree.
the worst.
One being
Because 3
you know,
wasn't Kevin Williamson.
Nah, not at all.
It had a different writer.
It was just super goofy with it. Where it's like the first movie, like I think they were trying to take some of the beats from the first movie. Like the first movie is very self-aware. It's a very meta horror film, and then being that it reinvented the slasher, craze because it died after the 80s. Like that's why we wasn't really seeing any like good slasher movies like that. But Scream reinvented all of that. So because slashers my favorite horror period. It's my favorite type of horror movie period. Like so iconic with that first movie with them going so meta with it and just being a movie that realized it was a movie and like even all the cliches like they point out in this movie. Like you basically have a character that's the audience, and that was Jamie Kennedy's character.
What
You
was
know
his
what I
name
mean?
Randy.
Randy Meeks. And then in Scary Movie it was Shorty Meeks. Y'all didn't catch that. But yes, he was quintessentially like he was us. He was like the big horror nerd. He died. He knew all the beats, what not to do, and ended up doing exactly those same exact things. And ended up dying anyway. And I love Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott. Like to me, she's my favorite final girl out of all horror movies, next to I want to say Jamie Lee Curtis's character from Halloween, just because the way she progressed over time. But I still think Sidney Prescott, like she's very resilient and she's smart. Like she started this, she was just a high school kid, but like her and like Nancy almost like followed the same beats of just really trying to outsmart the killer, you know. And like I said, this girl was doing that through all her movies, you know. She lived along, you know, with David Arquette and Courtney Cox, but they was always getting like stabbed up and stuff. They should have died like at the second movie.
Yeah, like how does Dave Arquette even have any more blood? How many times?
I know, like he was like stabbed in his spine in like the first one. That's why in the second one he has like that limp and everything like that. How he made it out, you know, what's her name's character? Yeah, basically. What's her name? Gail Weathers. And also
Courtney
Scary
Cox.
Movie, Gail Hailstorm, if you didn't catch the joke. Get it? Gail Weathers, Gail Hailstorm. So if you did not get the joke of Scary Movie, yeah, there you go. But anyways, like she should have, like she was in a whole car crash, you know, she got, you know, stabbed up. So I don't know. But they're all returning for this fifth movie.
I feel like they're gonna die in this one.
They
Definitely.
at least one of them. I'm betting
one.
at least one of them will. But again, like there's so many things I love about just that first Scream movie. Like one of the smart things they did with that movie, and I did not realize this until like watching it again a couple of months ago, and I'm gonna probably do it again tonight because talking about it so much. One of my favorite parts, like one of my favorite things about that movie, because it's revealed at the end there's two killers. There was two people acting as Ghostface. There was Matthew Lillard's character, what's his name? Skeet Ulrich as what's his name? Billy and Stu. That's what their names. Billy and Stu. So throughout the movie, you think it's only one person because Scream is a very classic whodunit, you know, type of horror movie. And there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of clues that show you it's them. And, you know, and even like Randy's character plays off he's like saying like you're, you know, just a red herring because the movie plays the boyfriend out to be that a lot of the times, but they don't make like, yeah, he is played as the red herring, but actually turns out to be the killer at the end. So I think it was very smart with them doing that by throwing you off, by making you believe, because in the way the boyfriend was portrayed, you know, being very like, you know, very low key and like kind of malicious behind every time he was saying something and very serious. Like he's always kind of like looking down like this when he's talking to Sydney and like, you know, just being like really creepy. So like he has all the red flags, and you know, but they still trying to like throw you off a bit. So it's like in the typical setting, if this were any other horror movie, he wouldn't be the killer at the end. It would have been revealed to be the principal or something stupid, you know,
or even Randy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he mentions that in the video store. So, you know, but there's a lot of stuff in there that show you like that it's them. So like for one example, like there's one part where Sydney's getting chased up the stairs, and if you listen closely, you hear Ghostface saying easy, easy, and then I didn't catch it until I was watching the movie again months ago. So there's a part where they're in the high school and Matthew Lillard's character, when she's like trying to hit him or something, he says the exact same thing. He goes easy, easy. So that's one of the clues showing that was him when he was chasing her.
That.
Yeah,
you went in deep.
Yeah,
on this
I'm
one.
telling you, you watch these movies, you gotta watch it through your third eye. Don't watch it with these two eyes, because you're not gonna see the movie for what it is.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I'm telling you, and you're going to see it.
I'm gonna
And then
watch that tonight
the other one of my other favorite parts of the movie. So when she comes home from school early, and because they do a lot of things where, again, it's meant to throw you off, but then it turns out that's what it actually is. So there's one part where she's home alone by herself because her dad left or whatever, and you hear something in the closet and she looks, and they make like a little musical cue, but she kind of just brushes it off. So it just makes it seem like, oh, that's just another typical thing, like she's just being spooked at herself. So she falls asleep later that night. She wakes up, she gets a call from the killer, you know, and he's saying like, oh, I'm outside on the porch. She goes, you know, I don't believe you. And he wasn't. So then he jumps out of the same closet that she heard the noise from. So he was hiding in that closet the entire time, but they kind of made it seem like it was nothing. Once she looked and seen, because she doesn't open the closet at all. She hears it, but had she opened the closet, she would have found him in there. So he was waiting in there the entire time. So it does a lot of cool things like that. And each kill you see, because again, it's revealed at the end, there's two different killers. If you look at each kill, they're holding the knives differently, and that indicates who the killer is. So there's certain kills where he's holding it in two hands before he stabs someone, and you know, he just does a straight down stab like that. Then all the other kills is with one hand, and the person is just slashed.
So which one is which?
There's a YouTube video that breaks down exactly who is who at what point. So I won't get into it because for time's sake and everything, I feel like I'm saying so much with this movie.
No,
but
I'm like intrigued because I didn't even like.
I'm telling you, man.
Many times I've seen.
That's why Ghostface is one of my favorites, man. And like I said, if the rest of the movies followed like these cues and like a lot of the smart things that Wes Craven set up in this movie, I'm telling you, the franchise would have been more, like, it's still iconic, but we'd have had a lot more better movies, in the middle of.
It was a very
the
well written movie by Kevin Williamson.
Yeah. And like I said, even the voice, of Ghostface, I love it. Like because I like the killers that just they go straight for it. People like Freddy, people like Ghostface, they like the foreplay. They like to break down and distress the victim. Like, and that's another thing that Scream, I love what they do. They always take every movie. They take a big name actor and they put him on the poster and everything, and it makes it seem like they're gonna have a big part of the movie because they're the biggest name in there. But they're always the first person killed. So that's what they did with Drew Barrymore in the first one, with Jada Pinkett in the second movie. Third movie.
Ray Donovan.
Yes.
Played Cotton Weary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you know where they got
yeah.
you know where they got that from though. That was inspired through Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, because they marketed, when Psycho came out, they marketed Psycho that Janet Leigh, who was the mother of James Lee Curtis, another Scream queen, was gonna be, she was the star of the film. And then when people saw it, because you couldn't at that time, it was like you can't say what you saw when you left. Yeah. People saw it, they was like, what the hell just happened? They killed and this is during like what the 50s or 60s, whether it came out. So this was unheard of.
Yeah.
And
real quick, let's just for time's sake, Jay, what's your favorite horror film series?
Well, I didn't want to pick one you guys already picked. I was gonna say Saw, but outside of Saw, I would say The Conjuring, just because I like the way they set up their own like little MCU. Where
Same director, James Wan.
Yeah, they had their own little like spin-offs. They had Annabelle, they had The Nun, which was terrible, but
The Curse of La Llorona.
that was really good. And
I hated that one.
I didn't hate that. I liked the trailer for it a lot, and I think the movie did the trailer justice. But yeah, that would be my pick.
I like the last Annabelle. The last one that came out. Yeah.
I only like the second Annabelle.
The second one was Mike Flanagan, right?
The
guy
I'm
who did,
not 100% sure.
The guy who did Doctor Sleep and Haunting on Hill House.
If so, that will explain why the second Annabelle, I think it was a Creation. Yeah, Annabelle Creation. I thought, because the first Annabelle was kind of boring. It didn't really tell much. Then they made a prequel to the prequel, which was Annabelle Creation. That was actually good. Like I said, that is one of the moments, like when I think with the father, where his fingers get like bent back. That shit makes me cringe like all the time. Like the second movie I thought was really good. Then the third one, Annabelle Comes Home, which should have been like the end game for like these Annabelle movies, because it took place of like in that room we see in all the Conjuring movies where they have all the artifacts and everything, and it was so lackluster. It was like nothing really happened. We got like some stupid ghost wolf and some weird TV.
I actually liked the last one. I thought it was good. I really did.
I'm literally naming why it's trash, and y'all telling me it's good. Bro.
I can't. Nothing could top the first Conjuring though. The first Conjuring, like barely has any like blood or anything, and it doesn't have like jump scares. Like the first Conjuring is just like really tense. Like the fucking that scene is crazy. Yeah. And when the chair like flips upside down like in the basement and stuff like that, like the first Conjuring's so good.
Or the one
I love James
with,
Wan so much. He's my favorite horror director.
Or the one scene in The Conjuring where what's her name, Joey King was in the bed and like whoever the ghost pulled her by her ankle, and I was like, ooh, that like it hurt. That ghost was like
aggressive as hell.
She was like, yeet. Nigga, what?
And then I thought the follow-up was great. Like I think the main two Conjuring movies, like besides the spin-offs, are solid. Like the second movie I thought was really good because that introduced the Nun, which kind of sucks seeing with the Nun when it got its own spin-off movie. It wasn't that great. I think they need to just fall back on just introducing stuff in the main movies and then just going with these spin-offs with it, like unless
when we were talking about like movies that we went to go see that was like bad date movies, The Nun was definitely I didn't even think of it. I completely blocked that out of my mind, but yeah,
you were traumatized by that how craptacular it was,
because everything about her was scary in the second movie. Like the best scene, when she's in the room, because he has that creepy ass painting of her, and
the
then
shadow goes into it.
exactly,
Oh, shit, I seen that scene.
yeah,
I saw
like
that.
stuff like that.
Listen,
there's some cool references in there too. Like if you notice, like the daughter, she's wearing Chucky's clothes. She's wearing the suspenders and the same colorful shirt. Like I don't know if y'all caught that. And there's also a part where, because remember at the end of the movie, found out the demon's name was Valak, and she had to say the name. So in that same scene where you see the daughter on the bookshelf with the letters, it spells out Valak on there. You know,
James
Well,
Wan knows what he's doing.
yeah.
I mean, I went to Catholic school mostly my entire life, and nuns are very scary. They are. They are.
Well, yeah. We'll probably have to continue it, more horror stuff next
We got
week.
the whole
Notable
month.
mentions though is It. I wanted to say It too.
The new
The,
ones.
the new
remake?
ones
The new
or the
ones, yeah.
original?
The
Okay,
new ones.
yeah.
Okay.
You don't have Prince Albert in a can?
Oh man. So yeah, we'll get into like all those like next week, but I think we had a good enough start.
Yes.
Anyways, once again, join here at a shared podcast studio. Shouts out to them. Also want to say shouts to some other podcasts. Definitely check out All Things Aside podcast. Just to shout out some of my good local Jersey City friends doing their thing and supporting their, good black-owned podcast. So please follow them, like and subscribe here. It's the NosCast family. Once again, before we sign out, joining us again or had us today,
Jay Holland.
At Murdoch_music.
Niz Santine, aka the Nizza, aka Big Bobby, aka I never held an AK in my life, aka the last girl bender.
And this is Gregory Hall. And please go to our YouTube channel and check out the teaser trailer of Karen. And the full trailer will be dropping this week. So please check, like, subscribe, comment, and share.
This will be out after the fact.
Well, yes, it'll be out, it will be out after the fact. I'm trying to promote us here. Jesus,
Go on
man.
our YouTube, check
If
out
you're
Karen.
watching this right now, the Karen trailer is
It
out.
will be out.
So watch that.
It's
You're
already
smart
out.
enough to know. Watch Karen. Support.
we just
Like,
say
comment,
we'll
subscribe.
just all you have to say is we'll leave a link in the description. That's what
We'll leave a link in the
that's
description.
what all the YouTubers say. But anyways, we'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace.
Yeah.